What's going on YouTube? I'm gonna get the Facebook going. What's up, Facebook? I'm here on both streams today. I want to talk about for a little bit two different things. The first thing is the National Guard. Obviously, that's been a big story all week. There's, I don't know, tens of thousands of National Guard troops in DC to protect the innocent politicians that need so much help and support, the great people in Washington that just work really hard for us. So that's the story. But, AP reported that 2 U.S. Army National Guard members with ties to fringe right group militias are being removed from the security mission. So now they're doing a political deep dive on a lot of the military members to see where they line up politically and if they have any affiliations that they don't like. Interesting for a few reasons. The first reason, obviously, is that can be extremely abused. That type of power can be abused. Second of all, I mean, how many military members are not right leaning? I'm sure there's some, but it's like police, military, these tend to be right wing, right leaning professions. So interesting to see how they're going to pull this one off. But that's what we're going to talk about. And then, as always, I want to be optimistic. I want to talk about a silver lining. There's a lot of doom and glooming. There's a lot of crying and giving up and saying America's over. But I definitely want to have an optimistic message. And I think this is a lesson, and I think it's important because for the last year, we've been our whole country's been overtaken by medical tyranny. As you guys know, you've had socialism, communism, shutdowns, lockdowns, quarantines. It's hard for people to even go to a doctor now. They've reorganized our whole country across all 50 states, regardless. And I'll try not to get upset. But what's really frustrating, I expect the left to do what the left does at this point. I didn't expect, and maybe it's my own fault for setting expectations, I just didn't expect so many right-wingers to make excuses for this. Like, it's across all 50 lines, the airlines, the medical industry, multinational corporations, dentist office, you name it. This is affecting all 50 states, even South Dakota and Florida. I know, I've been to some of these states. I've seen it. In general, I talk to people that live there, but so many people are just trying to act like this wasn't happening and isn't happening. And, now it's very real. So the silver lining, I'm not going to overstep and kind of explain it now, but people need a lesson. It's like when you think, when you don't want to face this stuff because your guy's in office, it holds people back, and there's going to be nothing holding people back in a month. The face of evil that you think is real is going to be very apparent, and you're not going to have anyone to pretend like it's not happening because it already happened. So that's what it is. I'm going to sip on my tea. I don't have coffee today. I decided to go with some tea. I felt like it was probably a good play. I drink too much coffee. We'll see what happens. Someone said America has fallen. I mean, if you want to doom and gloom and cry about it, but this stuff's not even really new. As far as like central banking, what's it called? Taxes and stuff. Like, America's been on a decline for a long time. I think people just it reminds me of when you get surgery, they numb your face, or they give you like a pill. It's not that you're not in pain, you just can't feel it. It's not that you get the pill that makes you feel good for a few hours, but you're still sick. It just kind of takes it away. That's what this last 4 years has been, where this is not new. Obviously, the lockdowns and stuff are new, but it's not like, and I don't want to overstep my thing. I want to talk about the military thing first, but it's not like Trump stopped this. He did 15 days to slow the spread, the extension into 30 days. He didn't, it's like, oh, well, if he would have won, it's like this already happened for a year. So now you have to face it like a man or a woman or neither. I don't know. Maybe you're like our new health director. You're a transgender. What's her name? Whatever, Levine. I'm sure she's going to do a great job enforcing the health in this country. But in general, let's get to it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to drink my tea. Who do we got? Someone said turmeric tea. I think it's like lemon ginger. It's delicious though. Jorge, what's going on? Robin, what's going on? Crypto Legend, Thai Nation. Let's see who we got. John on Facebook. What's going on? Shout outs for everybody. Someone said no thing is too much coffee. LOL. I was getting a little jittery yesterday though. I don't normally get the jitters, but I got the jitters. You see, I told everybody I'm gonna be jacked. I'm going to be jacked by like December. I'm already starting to get kind of big because every day I do jumping jacks. We do jumping jacks. My favorite message was I was doing jumping jacks one time, and an elderly woman or a young woman, let's say a young lady, she hit me up and she said, anomaly, I can't do jumping jacks, but I've been praying. When you do jumping jacks, I put my hands in the prayer motion. I was like, that was the greatest message of the year so far. So shout out to, the young lady who said that she can't do jumping jacks, but she puts her prayer hands in the air. I was like, that's great. This is such a wholesome show. Facebook and YouTube should be ashamed of coming at me with this. We're out here doing jumping jacks. Leave me alone. All right. So first thing I want to talk about is this was Associated Press. It said, and then we're going to get into some of the theories too, because some people are saying there's a secret sting operation. All the enemies are going to Gitmo. There's all sorts of theories about what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to talk about that. And also I have a deep dive on this stuff I'm going to do probably tomorrow or the next day, but let's calm down. Associated Press said 2 U.S. Army National Guard members with ties to fringe right group militias are being removed from the security mission to secure Joe Biden's presidential inauguration, an Army official and senior intelligence officials say. So here's what I want to say. First of all, they said fringe right group. I'm just curious because to me there are fringe right groups, like they exist. There's fringe left, fringe right. There's good people on the left, good people on the right. There's some people that are libertarians and great people. There's some people that are psychopaths that are right wing. So it's not that I don't think that they exist, but it's hard to trust the media because they'll call Joe Rogan a fringe right. Joe Rogan is a fringe right white supremacist. It's like Joe Rogan is too far left, in my opinion. Oh, thank you for the $99 super chat. The moment all the Patriots have been waiting for, praying so hard right now. Thank you so much for that. That was very nice. But they call Joe Rogan far right-wing extremist, and Joe Rogan's like a progressive Bernie Sanders voter who likes guns. Like he's not far left. I mean, right. He's like the only left-wing person I know that still feels that way. But in general, it's like, so first of all, what do they mean by fringe right group? Second of all, they said militias. If you look at the Constitution of the United States, the Second Amendment talks about the right to bear arms and have a well-regulated militia. Militias are not only legal, they're one of our main rights to exercise. So I talked about it months ago, but if you notice, what was his name? What was his name? The guy who did the Trump debate. Chris? Who was the guy that did the debate? Oh, Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace. He said, Trump, do you condemn white supremacies and militias? So this was already an attack they had, an attempt to try to make people think, oh, extreme, fringe right, militia, white supremacists, we got to shut these down. No, militia is your Second Amendment right. So they're trying to tie militia groups, which are your Second Amendment, to all these sort of crazy things to make people stop them because they're afraid of militias. They're afraid of the Second Amendment. They're afraid of the First Amendment. They're afraid of any peaceful opposition, your constitutional right. So they have all these tricks and traps to make you think that it's not okay, where it's like white supremacy and militias, that they're two different things, but they tie them together to try to program people. Russia, Russia, Russia. You just say it and you don't even know if it's true. I talked to two Russian women yesterday and they were like, why does everybody hate Russia? They're like, what's going on with Russia? Trump never worked with Putin. We're like, yeah, we know. It's just a weird thing that they do. But anyway, so I got into the article and they said, here's what the article says. AP says 10 additional U.S. guards are being removed from the security mission for presidential inauguration of Joe Biden, according to a senior intelligence official. The two officials spoke, anonymous, of course. And then it says early Tuesday morning, the FBI sent a list of the names of the National Guard Bureau who were identified as having ties to fringe right-wing groups or had posted extremist views. Here's the important part. No active plots against Biden were found. So there was no plotting against Biden. They just did their research and said these people are tied to fringe right militias. Militia is their Second Amendment right. And I'm just curious, how fringe are we talking about? Because they think Joe Rogan is fringe right. So I'm just curious. I wish they would be more transparent in telling us, but this is a very, dangerous president, one of 50 that they're bringing on, where it's like, we're going to persecute you for your political views. I find it kind of funny. Not that I should laugh at this because it's a serious thing. But how many are they going to try to stop National Guard members who are right wing? It's going to be a hard thing to do. I think most people in the military tend to like Trump and be conservative, and I think that freaks them out. But hopefully, they don't go that route. I just found it interesting, and of course, the headline doesn't always match what's in the article. On that note, everybody wants to speculate and have an opinion or a theory. Some people really sell it as if they really know, and they don't. But in general, why is there so many military there? is it for this reason? Is it that? Of course, there's Simon Parkes, who's telling millions of people that it's a secret sting operation to send everybody, the bad guys, to FEMA camps. Simon Parkes, who I'm going to talk about in my next video, and I'm going to do a whole deep dive. I mean, the guy's family of like MI6 and intelligence community, and he said that his mom was an alien or something. I mean, this guy is, not the most trustworthy, and he was part of the Labour Party, the Socialist Party in the UK, from reports that I've seen. So you got right-wingers following this guy whose family was in the intelligence community and worked for the Progressive Socialist Party in the UK, and who says he, is from aliens. And that's who people are looking up to, because they're like, I like Trump so much, I want to hear somebody tell me. So he's telling you the bad guys are going to the FEMA camps, whatever. You got a lot of these pro-Trump influencers, the trust the planners, who are telling you it's all coming down to this big day. The storm's coming, the secret Gitmo operation. Trump's got the military in his palm. Mike Pompeo is going to be vice president. It's all most likely fake. I mean, you'll find out tomorrow. But these people, a lot of them are pathological liars that just built an audience around, a psyop. I'm going to talk about that in my next video too. But in general, no one really knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But the most likely scenario, which you're going to see, is Biden's going to get inaugurated, and they're bringing in the National Guard to intimidate you. They want to set the message, we're not going to have any sort of invasion on our capital again. And also, they're trying to push the narrative that, Trump supporters are terrorists. Right-wing people are terrorists. They need to be removed from the military. They need to be, looked at closely. And this is similar to what they did, when 9/11 happened. They said, there's the terrorists. We got to go get the terrorists, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. But then they ended up fighting Syria, Libya. And then you realize they actually didn't really care about the terrorists that much. In many cases, you could find out these terrorist organizations were created by the United States. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. I could find a Hillary Clinton video where she admits the Mujahideen was funded by the U.S. and they were fighting the Soviet Union. And when the Soviet Union left, now they had a terrorist organization, and it was funded and created by the United States of America. So they were never really fighting terrorists. They were fighting them when it's convenient, following them into Iraq and Syria when it was convenient to try to do regime change on Bashar al-Assad, and then just jumping over to Libya, which had nothing to do with it at all, to try to kill Muammar Gaddafi, who was trying to get away from the central bankers and other things probably. But in general, point I'm trying to get to is after 9/11, they use this as a pretext to take away your freedoms, designate somebody a terrorist group. I'm not saying they're not real, they are, but using it to justify a means that has nothing to do with what they're telling you. It's the same thing with now. They're trying to build the whole media narrative. White people are terrorists. Trump supporters are terrorists. Conservatives are terrorists. Militia groups are terrorists. All these things are hand in hand. They're synonymous. Anybody who isn't left wing needs to be removed. That's what they're trying to do. And I think that's all it really is. I don't think Trump has a secret plan. I don't think any of your enemies are going to Gitmo. I mean, eventually maybe, but this is where the silver lining comes in. And I'm going to do a whole video about it. I talked about it last video. I'm going to do a whole breakdown and really show you the Bolshevik Operation Trust, which was used in the Bolshevik Revolution to keep patriots and conservatives at bay. They told them that the military was doing something, and they used that to round everybody up. I don't think they're going to round you up, but I think they're using it to distract patriots and constantly just put a carrot in front of your face and run you off a cliff. And you think you're helping, but really you're just kicking the can down the road. So now, sounds bad, but here's the silver lining, and here's what I think the message is. Of course, I don't know. I'm just like you. I'm looking at this stuff, trying to interpret it. But in general, I think there's a really positive message to what's going on. It's not Biden's administration. It's not the people he's putting into office. I disagree with probably pretty much everybody he puts into office. I'm not following it that closely, but every pick I've seen so far is a nightmare. But here's the good part. It's a nightmare that you could see. You know it now. There is no mask on the bad guy to make you think it's the good guy. There is no confusion that this is really happening. It's really happening. I see that as a good thing because, I think the Trump presidency could have been a huge tool for people. And in some people it was, there's good and bad. But in general, he's the type of guy that I've tried to tell people he can do things. If you want to pardon, he might pardon you. Not Julian Assange, but he'll pardon Lil Wayne. But in general, if you can compliment with what he's doing, that's good. If you try to hide behind him and just let him do everything, is bad. He's not going to do everything. And that's what I feel like MAGA became for a lot of people. Not everyone, but it's like, how many people just hid behind him like he's their security blanket, and they're total cowards. The second that Trump's not going to be in office, they're panicking. Oh my God, we're doomed. It's like, You didn't feel that way in March through September when they shut your country down. It was a bipartisan operation to take away more freedoms than ever. You didn't care. Why didn't you care then? I cared in March, April, May, June, July. This was all happening under the Trump administration with a Republican Senate. They had no answers for it. You have a 50-state, overhaul of the medical industry that leaks into airlines, that leaks into dentist office, that leaks into multinational corporations. And people don't seem to care. So now you have to care. There is no more security blanket Trump to hide behind to make you feel like you're fighting socialism when you're not. We didn't fight socialism. We didn't fight communism. It overtook the Trump administration, and he proved to be virtually useless against it. In fact, kind of just becoming it. I know people don't want to hear that, but I'm going to reference a conversation I had yesterday. There's a restaurant owner in Huntington Beach, Basilicos it's called, and he's been open since day one, never shut down, not for a single day, not even for 15 days to slow the spread. Of course, there's a lot of legal troubles he's dealing with, but I was having a conversation with him and he was telling me there's no other restaurant like me. Everybody shuts down, everybody complies, everybody puts a sign on their thing. He's like, I'm probably the only one that I don't have a sign because I don't have to explain to you why I'm not shutting my business down. I have the First Amendment right to run my business. I don't have a mask mandate. No one's wearing masks. He makes masks illegal in his store. He says, you're not allowed to wear a mask in my store. So you get what I'm saying? And I was talking to him about Trump supporters and he felt the same way where he's like, I'm doing it. No, if every Trump supporter opened their business, you wouldn't have a lockdown. If every Trump supporter stood up to Trump, there wouldn't have been 15 days to slow the spread, turns into 5 months to slow the spread. But what you had is 3 brave people out of 70 million maybe, and a few others, and just 60 million cheerleaders with pom-poms who say, Trump, Trump, Trump. He's not doing the lockdowns. He has no part in it. Yeah, he does. He signed the emergency order. He did 15 days to slow the spread, and he's the leader of the free world and the leader of the country. So when he devises a guidelines and tells people to stick to it, they all listen because he's the leader of the country. He did have a part in it, but this is the problem and why I'm actually excited for people to wake the F up, because I looked at Trump like, okay, that's a fighter. I appreciate what he's doing. There's things he could do that I could never do because he's in the White House and I'm not. But I didn't look at Trump. I'm not a coward. I didn't look at Trump like he's my security Lionel blanket hiding behind him and ooh, I'm MAGA, MAGA. I'm the best. I'm so strong. I'm so strong. And then as soon as Trump goes away, you're like, oh my God, we're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. It's like these people are so pathetic. And then they're getting mad at me all the time on social media. And we're doomed. It's like, you're such a coward. If you use Trump as, okay, he's my leader, I appreciate what he did, that's fine. If that was your guy to just hide behind and talk trash, it's like your boys in the front seat driving and you're out the back rear saying, MAGA, he's my president, he's my president, he's my president. And then the second, some boys come up to the car, you're like, oh no, I'm not driving. It's like, yeah, I get it. You're using him, but you're not really a strong guy. If we had strong people in the movement, there would have been no 15 days to slow the spread. The leader of the guy at the restaurant was telling me that. He's like, I don't have any signs. He's like, I didn't wait for Trump for a day. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Biden. I'm not closing. I don't need an excuse for why I need to have masks. I'm running my business. And if you want to come for me, you can come for me. That's real man talk. You don't have that anymore. You have people who follow Trump and made excuses for it. That's why I'm excited to see what people do. And I know people don't want to hear this, but it's true. How many people will argue with me? And I need to stay off Twitter. It's an evil website, but people argue with me all day. They say, Trump doesn't have any power. He has all the power in the world, but he has no power. He's only the president. Okay, you love Trump so much, you're going to pretend like he had no part of the lockdown. It's a lie, but if that fantasy makes you feel better, whatever. Watch what these people do when Joe Biden gets into office. When Joe Biden gets into office and he starts using his executive power and he starts doing the same thing that Trump did, except for worse, and flexing his muscles that he has the power to do, and in some cases he'll overreach, are all these influencers going to say Gavin Newsom's doing it? Are they going to say that it's just Chris Cuomo? Are they going to say, oh, it's not Biden? Oh, Biden's not doing this to me. Oh, I won't criticize Biden. He has no power. Of course they won't, because they're liars. They love Trump more than they love their country. They love they don't even like freedom. They like putting on a MAGA hat and pretending like role-playing Abe Lincoln with their friends, but they're cowards. They're going to blame Biden for everything because he's the president of the United States. And when you're the president of the United States, you deserve blame. If you get the successes of doing things, you also have to take some faults as the leader of your country. These people are not going to spare Biden. Do you think there's even going to be a single conservative influencer that tells me, oh, it's not Joe Biden doing it, it's just the governors? No, that's only what they tell themselves when it's Trump. Of course, there's federalism. Of course, the states have powers, but also the president has powers. They're not going to just say, oh, Biden has no power at all, I'm never going to talk. They're going to talk about Biden every day. They're going to scare you with Biden every day and get clickbait articles every day. Biden, but they'll never stop talking about Biden. But they won't talk about Trump. Why? Because these people don't care about freedom. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about analyzing what's going on. They don't care about looking at the emergency order. They don't care about reading, acts and bills that have passed that show what Trump did. They don't care about the $1 trillion CARES Act. They don't care about Operation Warp Speed and Trump's role. Oh, I hate Bill Gates. Okay, if you don't like Bill Gates and you're supporting Trump, that's fine. I did the same, but you have to understand Trump is actually funding pharmacy industry and, giving billions of dollars to Bill Gates's favorite vaccine company. So you get what I'm saying? There's a disconnect there. People like Trump more than they like the Constitution, freedom, the First Amendment, and they ignored the takeover of our country. It's only in your head. It's only a myth that MAGA tells himself that it was great and Trump just had it all figured out and he was going to save the world and he was going to fight socialism. He not only isn't going to fight socialism, he didn't fight socialism. He became more socialist and more communist than any other president in modern history. And I want to tell people this real quick, and then I'm going to move on. Sweden is further left than America, or was further left. Now they're more right wing, I would say. But Sweden was way further left than than America. And during the shutdown, their government came together and decided to use the constitutional reason to not shut down. No mask mandate, no lockdown for 8-9 months, because they felt their constitution didn't allow it. There was an option for Trump to take. He could have stood by the Constitution, just like the restaurant owner, just like the gym owner, just like the hundreds of people who said, I'm not shutting down. Trump could have done that. We have a constitution. He didn't use it. He didn't try to use it. He shut the country down. He signed the emergency order. He did 15 days to slow the spread. He extended it past Easter when he got conned by Fauci's modeler. He's been in on it the whole time. And then he made excuses for it the whole year. So, but he has no power. He does have the power. It's called the Constitution. He didn't use it. Sweden used it. So what does this tell me? The MAGA Trump movement, not everybody, they care about Trump more than they care about their country and their Constitution. They'll make excuses to the high heavens. Sweden can do it, but you can't do it. Last year, Sweden's too socialist. This year, they're too free. Trump and James Woods are complaining about Sweden in May. I saved the tweets. Oh, Sweden is, everybody's dying. No, liar James Woods. No, liar Trump. I like you guys, but no, everyone's not dying in Sweden. Oh, they're dying at the highest rates. I called them out in May. I said, this is propaganda. This is anti-freedom, anti-constitution propaganda, pro-communism propaganda, not the left, James Woods and Trump. Because they wanted to say, I saved lives with my lockdown, Operation Warp Speed. I'm the best vaccine salesman this side of Moderna. So why? Oh, well, it's God's plan to have a secret Guantanamo Gitmo Bay operation, secret Sting PSYOP operation because X-22 lies to me every day. No, that's not God's plan. These are evil people, pathological liars, speaking on behalf of God when they're really just inverting the truth like Satan. Maybe the message is you need Joe Biden. You need to see what's going on. You need this because I gave you the opportunity to have something better, and you decided to just let your country fall by the wayside because you thought he was going to do it all, or you couldn't face the truth. Now you have to face the truth. Socialism and communism does not have a MAGA hat right now. Socialism and communism does not have a movement. It's Joe Biden. It's his administration. It's all three branches of government. So now you have to face the truth, and that's the silver lining. Someone said, angry. I'm passionate. I'm not angry. I'm just telling you the truth. And if you look in the comment section or you look on my Twitter, you'll see more excuses for what's going on than you'll see solutions. And it's really sad. And you deserve every bit of what's about to happen because this is your wake-up call. This is your silver lining, your blessing in disguise to face the truth like a real citizen of America. When I talk about Florida or what's going on, people say, well, I live in Florida. It's free here. No, it's not. I mean, Florida in 2020 is a shell of what it was in 2018. That's just a fact. Every state is. The closest state to being the same is South Dakota, and it's not the same. In many places it is. In many places it isn't. There's thousands of workers in South Dakota who have a mask mandate or they'll lose their job and their family house. There's airlines. I watched a woman get pulled off an airplane for not wearing a mask in South Dakota by the South Dakota police. South Dakota is a shell of what it was in 2019. It's better than certain states, but the whole country has declined into a medical slave state. That's what happened. You go to Orlando, it's run like a prison. Oh, Florida's free. No, it's not. Oh, well, it's Democrats. Well, how come a Democrat mayor gets to do whatever they want? Ron DeSantis can't uphold the Constitution? No, he can't. Just like Trump can't. They can't do anything. They can just help conservative areas. But if you go to a Democrat state, Gavin Newsom seems to be able to wrangle in the red mayors a little bit better. Why is that? Because Republicans are cowards, folks. They just pretend like they're fighting for freedom. That's all they do. Oh, Governor DeSantis made Florida free. No, he didn't. He passed a mask mandate that no one follows. And half the state is run like a prison. And then you have conservatives acting like it's good. No, I mean, be grateful for what you have, absolutely. But if you're trying to make the argument that it's a free state, you deserve Joe Biden. I'm not mad he's in office. That's what you deserve. You're making excuses for this. Now you get it. You get what you deserve. God doesn't have a plan for secret Gitmo sting operations. He has the plan to give you the exact type of pain that our country deserves for failing themselves. You have, I'm not trying to be mean, but you have boomers and millennials and Gen whatever, all age groups. Instead of facing all the problems that they've made in this country, instead of facing usury loans and central banking and progressive taxes and the decline of both parties and all these evil foreign wars that they've started in foreign countries and all these evil medical things that they've done in Africa that are now coming to the United States, instead of facing that and correcting it like, I don't know, somebody with self-accountability, you have MAGA just, oh, what if Trump saved my life and Mike Pompeo was Aquaman? No, that's what you tell yourself when you don't actually want to make amends to all the horrible things you've done over the last 100 years. That's not how the world, God doesn't work that way. Well, I have a Bible quote because I'm praying medic. I get it, Satan, man. I get it. You're a satanic inverting wizard of fake news who just propagates lies and throws in an Isaiah Bible quote. That's nice. I appreciate the Bible quote always, but that doesn't mean your reporting's good. Your reporting sucks. You've hoaxed people for 3 years about a secret sting operation that was never real, about military intel that was always fake. And it was always obvious it's fake because no military intel tells you that they're doing it 3 years in advance. It's not secret because they told you. And you're not making a secret. If it's a secret, you're doing a bad job because you're propagating it to tens of millions of people. So obviously it's been a hoax the whole time. The point I'm getting to is, though, if you correct ourselves, if we look at our country and say, these are the mistakes we made since 1918 with central banking, progressive loans. If you read the Communist Manifesto, I'm reading this to, I just started it, but it's fantastic. This is recommended by G. Edward Griffin. It's called The Law by Frederick Bastiat. He's like the opposite of Karl Marx. You know, Karl Marx is talking about progressive taxes, socialism, communism. Bastiat's talking about a free liberty society. If Bastiat saw America today, he loved America. He would think that this was a communist nation. Not now, not with Biden, with Trump, especially with the medical lockdowns, but even with Obama and, Reagan. And it's been declining and nobody's really been addressing it. Anyway, if Karl Marx looked at our country, he would think both parties were socialists and communists. He'd look at Trump's tax bracket and be like, that's great. And then he'd look at Joe Biden's tax bracket and be like, that's even better. Even Karl Marx, when he said progressive tax, I don't know that he could have dreamed of a two-party system that does 45% taxes and then the good guys are 35% taxes. We've been getting scammed for decades. Our forefathers threw a fit over a T-tax, folks, a T-tax. We got T-tax, P-tax, this tax, that tax, T-tax, G-tax, A-tax, B-tax, property tax, income tax. They steal money when you make money. If you don't make money, they take your money. This has been a problem for 100 years now. Karl Marx would love even the Republican Party. No serious person that cares about the Constitution would ever make an excuse for what Florida's turned into. I have people that live in Florida. They're like, anomaly. I can't even go to the dentist. I can't go to the doctors. They won't let me in the building. I can't go here. Orlando is like run like a prison. Yeah, I get it. It's run by a blue mayor. But the point I'm getting to is Florida, the state of Florida, that's run by a Republican governor, is a shell of Florida in 2018. It shouldn't be. If we're the Freedom Party, right? Is that what we are? MAGA, Make America Great Again, libertarians, conservatives. We want to conserve Christianity. We want to conserve freedom. We want to conserve liberty, right? Isn't that what MAGA pretends to be? Shouldn't you be agreeing with me? Hey, let's actually get a free country again. No, but that's not what I have when I say this stuff. I have dozens of people who'd rather make excuses for it. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. I don't understand. I don't share whatever it is. I'm not trying to be rude, but I despise these people on the right wing just as much as I despise communists on the left wing. Just as much, almost more, because communists on the left wing, I expect nothing of AOC. Why does she not annoy me? She does. But why? I don't expect her not to annoy me. So I just block her out. I watch what she's saying. It's disgusting. Okay, haha, I get it. She sucks. This is supposed to be the MAGA party, the Patriot Party, the Freedom Party, the Liberty Party. And you got fully grown MAGA men trying to defend Florida as a free state when it's not a free state. It's a shell of what it was in 2018. And that's the problem, folks. And that's why the real lesson to be learned is not a secret Gitmo plan. It's you deserve Joe Biden and communism. Because that's what you got. You get two-party communism. You can't stop it. You make excuses for it. Now you get what you deserve. Someone said Florida's doing great. It's a shell of what it was in 2018. It just is. I'm not saying I'm doing great. I live in a blue state. I can go to the beach. I know where I can go and where I can eat. Life is good. Do I have the freedom I had in 2019? No, I don't. I have 10% of the freedom I have in 2019. And if I go to Florida on vacation, I still have less than 40% of the freedom I had in 2018. In 2018, I could have flew to Florida in a blue area, gone on a cruise, walked around with no mask on, and I can't do that anymore. So even in a blue area in 2018 in Florida, I had more freedom there than I do in many red areas, even in Louisiana and Florida. That's just what's going on, folks. I'm not saying you're not doing great. I'm glad you're better than California. It's awesome. But if you can't look at Florida and say, I'm glad we're Florida, we're doing better than blue states, but this state is a shell of what it was in 2018. It just is. The whole country is a shell of what it was in 2018. And you could see the numbers, and you could see how China's going up like this, and America's going down like this, and there's no remedy for it. So this is my message is, with Joe Biden, there's no more mask. There's no more security blanket. There's no more Make America Great Again hats talking about how we're going to stop socialism when you implemented socialism with this whole last year of lockdowns that Trump never tried to invoke the Constitution. There's a constitutional right. Folks, I know people that have not shut down for a day that are still operating. A lot of it is just, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to submit to? What are you willing to do? So if you have a president of the United States that's not willing to stand his ground and say, I'm not going to lock down, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to say this, I'm not going to lead people this way, then you get it. If you have a president who doesn't do that, you don't get it. And that's what we had. So now you have Joe Biden. There's no more excuses. There's no more illusion. There's no more fake movement that's telling people that they're fighting socialism when they can't conserve anything. I'm not trying to be rude, but conservatives don't conserve anything. And they don't even know history, so they don't even understand how socialist they already are. A Republican tax plan is probably more communist than Karl Marx ever dreamed of. And I'm not blaming Republicans. I still vote Republican because Democrats steal more of my money. But this is how they operate, folks, with taxes and with everything. And hopefully we can learn from this and actually build a serious movement, or else we're just on a slower train to hell on earth. Earlier in the 1800s and 1700s, there was no such thing as taxation. They didn't steal money. Then they stole tax money. Then they stole tea money, and people freaked out. And then they slowly just stole more and more and more money. So now you have the right wing who steals money and the left wing who steals money. And they move together down the train, and they act like they're fighting, but you lose either way. That's just what's going on. If you look at a conservative tax from 2018, it's probably more than a Democrat tax in 1930, because that's the game. That's the game they're playing, folks. Conservatives aren't conserving anything. Someone said, I'm out. Goodbye. So if you want to conserve something, you need to identify the game they're playing and say, hey, I'm going to vote for this person if I want to, but I'm not going to just act like this is all going to go away. It never was under Trump, under anyone. We've been under the spell of socialism and communism and on a track there for 80 years now. And now it's all bubbling up. And in my opinion, it's a blessing. I don't want to be around a bunch of people who call themselves right-wing and patriots who literally are incapable of identifying the fact that Florida in 2020 is a shell of what it was in 2018. It just is. How are you going to get your freedom back when 90% of your movement doesn't even want to admit it's happening? It's like if Joe Biden did this last year, everyone would have been appalled. They wouldn't have been blaming governors. They would have been like, it's his fault too. It's their fault and his fault. Yeah, obviously Cuomo has some problems. Obviously Newsom has some problems. But also Joe Biden is the ringleader of this whole operation, just like Trump was. But people don't see that. So you deserve Joe Biden. It's not a bad thing. In my opinion, it's horrible, but it's like getting fatter and someone's telling you you're getting thinner. Am I fat? You're like 10,000 pounds. You're ready to like explode. You don't even fit in the house. Oh no, you look great. Make America great again. No, you're enormous. Lose weight or you're going to explode. That's what Joe Biden is. He's that message to you. This system's out of control. This country is out of control. The lockdowns, if 4 years of Trump leads to a socialist, communist, medical slave state that he has no part in, Governor DeSantis is this great freedom-fighting governor, but he can't even control half his state. Yet communist, socialist, authoritarian Democrats seem to be able to strangle any of their opposition. They'll kick you out of the military. They'll steal money from your bank account if you open your business. They'll fine you hundreds of thousands of dollars. How come they can do it and Republicans can't? I'll tell you why. Because Republicans are pathetic. Pathetic. I thought, and I'm not Mr. Tough Guy. I'm not out here like Rambo, just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not shooting my way out of a forest or anything. I'm just blown away by how pathetic the Republican Party is. As somebody that's conservative, I'm not acting like I'm the toughest guy this side of the Mississippi. I'm really not. I mean, clearly I'm tougher than 99.9% of these people, which is shocking. But in general, I'm just like blown away as a citizen and a Republican. I'm like, this is it? This is MAGA now? These are the big bad conservatives? You get mad at me for saying that Florida is a shell of it? We're supposed to take freedom back. How are we going to take freedom back when no one even wants to admit it went away? How are we going to get it back? And then the same people that are acting tough, they're like, we're doomed, we're doomed. We're not doomed if you do something. Trump's not your security blanket. He's one person. If every restaurant owner who supports Trump never closed down, we never would have locked down, folks. There's probably 100,000 business owners that support the president of the United States, maybe more. How many of them shut down their business? Like 99%? That's the problem. Why? Because Trump did, or they thought he was fighting for it? No, people have to do their own thing. If every Republican and conservative did what they pretend to do, there would have been no lockdown. If everyone did what Basilicos did, there's no restaurant shutdown. It doesn't exist because it's all a figment of what you're willing to give up. What are you willing to submit to? What are you willing to do? And everybody just goes along with it. So that's the lesson is Trump was never going to save you anyway. Clearly not. He's just selling Moderna vaccines like Bill Gates. How is he fighting the New World Order and the globalist agenda when he's funneling money to probably one of the most globalist connected companies in Moderna and rushing them through FDA trials as they have no liability? They have immunity from lawsuit, and it all goes through some government slush fund, so they don't really have a financial incentive not to do it. How's he fighting them? Spoiler alert, he's not. And who are these trusted planners? They're either probably paid agents or just egotistical idiots who fell for one of the biggest hoaxes in modern conservative history. You don't have to do anything. Lockdowns are good. FEMA camps are good. They're all going to Gitmo. Just wait. Just give up your constitution, give up your freedom, and follow Trump off a cliff no matter where he goes. Don't believe observable reality. Observable reality tells you that Florida in 2021 is a shell of Florida in 2018. It's a fact. But Q tells you it's all part of a plan. So just let it happen. That's the plan. The plan is, how do we get 50 million patriots to sit on their hands and think that the military is going to save them? There is no secret military operation to stop Joe Biden. It's a hoax. It's a psyop. Anybody who's still pushing it, you should go to their page and say, stop. Stop lying to everybody. Get a grip. You do something. You don't like what's going on? Do something about it. Defy the communist rule. Start an organization that gets 100,000 businesses to stop doing it, and it all disappears. But you don't have a real freedom movement. You have a movement that makes excuses for Republicans that they like. Meanwhile, Republicans that they like, even on their best day when I support them, are still so far left that Karl Marx would have been blown away by what they've been able to do to America. And that's just what it is. So Joe Biden is the inconvenient wake-up call to America. There was no secret plan. You don't get a bailout. No offense, but if you let your country fall to usury loans and central banking debt and communism, and you let them take over the schools and the airwaves and the radio, all that, you don't get a bailout from Aquaman. That's what you tell yourself when you don't want to correct your mistakes for the past 100 years. It's not my fault or your fault, but our ancestors or somebody at a certain point, our family trees didn't do enough to preserve freedom in this country. In 1850, Bastiat thought that U.S. was one of the greatest countries in the world. Freedom, liberty. We haven't had that for a while. It's been on a decline and no one's addressed it. And Trump came along and people got behind him because he seemed like he was going to address it. And 4 years of Trump, he did pretty good. And then they got him with the whole lockdown thing and he caved to it. He didn't fight it. He became the lockdowns. It's okay. I'm not here to make people feel bad about it. I'm trying to make people realize this is good. Now you don't have a pill to take to make you feel like it's not happening. It's great to, not feel the pain, but at a certain point, it's like if your leg's cut off and you take a pop of Xanax or something, maybe for 3 hours you're going to hallucinate that you're the man on the moon, and you have 3 legs. But then after the pill wears off, you're looking and your leg hurts, and now it's too late. Now it's too late to get a new leg because you let it bleed out. You get what I'm saying? That's what the temporarily trust the plan or Trump's going to save me is. He did what he could do. It wasn't enough to save our freedom. It just wasn't. He didn't get any of 3 of the Senate House presidency. Even if he won, I don't think he even had a plan to figure out how to reverse this. It's difficult. It takes more than one person. It takes millions of people. But if the one guy that everybody's listening to as their leader is not doing it, he's selling Moderna vaccine, you're not going to accomplish that. This is I'm not upset about tomorrow. It's very annoying, but to me, it's almost more annoying to hear a bunch of fake libertarian patriot conservatives not be able to conserve anything. What's the point of putting on a MAGA hat and screaming at people on Twitter all day when they literally can't conserve anything? They can't conserve the First Amendment. They can't conserve the Second Amendment. They can't stop medical tyranny. They can't stop socialism. They couldn't even stop communism this year. What are you conserving? The only thing that people in MAGA have been conserving is their own brand. I'm a star in MAGA and I support Trump and I have a lot of followers. So they're not preserving the Constitution. They're certainly not preserving the First Amendment, not the Second Amendment. They infringed on that too. What are they conserving? Their own identity in a movement that's not conserving anything. It's a good start. It made a lot of progress. But last year, it became so obvious to me. I'm like, this is nuts. People really don't want to do anything. They literally just want to sit there and hide behind Trump and think he's going to do it. And look how people are acting. I posted a picture a week ago of Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo's leaving office. Trump is leaving office. That's just what's happening. More than half my audience doesn't even want to hear it. What do you call that? I guess coping. It's like if you break up with your girlfriend or something and you cry for a week, or something traumatic happens. So you just like hallucinate that you have like an invisible friend or something. I'm not trying to be mean, but I guess that's what people want to do. Make up theories until they can't possibly anymore that Trump's going to get out. And then you remind me of that liberal lady. No! You remember her? The one that looked like a no! Remember that liberal lady that everybody memed for a year and made fun of? Ha ha! Look at the liberals. They can't accept the Trump presidency. No! That's what you said. That's what you guys look like to me. Obviously, I sympathize with you more as far as why you're upset. But like, I don't know I don't know how to do that. I can't lie. I don't understand why you're doing this. Like, Anomaly, it's fine. Just let us one more day of thinking that our enemies are going to get Mo. If you want to, I guess it's fine. But where I get annoyed about it is this was not the year to do it. If this was a normal election year, I don't care if you guys want to QAnon and spiral to hell. I don't care if you want to follow fake pastors that are probably really Bolshevik, like counterintelligence PSYOP officers. It wouldn't bother me. Like, whatever, do what you want to do. But it does bother me because I lost 95% of my freedom, and not just in the state I'm in. When I fly to Florida, when I fly to Texas, when I fly to South Dakota, the country's just a shell of what it once was. It just is. Everything is more miserable to do. We've lost freedom. I've lost the right to breathe air, and everybody yells at me everywhere I go. It's not as fun as it could be. So it does kind of annoy me now. If you guys wanted to fall for a PSYOP and throw a fit normally, whatever, knock yourself out. But a year of this kicking the can down the road, you deserve Joe Biden. I'm not mad that this is even happening because we had a year of Trump to do something about it, and no one wanted to do anything about it. They just wanted to ignore socialism and communism and medical tyranny and lockdowns and Operation Warp Speed. And it's so good. It's a secret success because Trump did it. What do you expect? Of course you're going to get Joe Biden. This is the message. This is the lesson. No more lying. No more hallucinating fairy tales about, Bill Barr being Superman and trust Jeff Sessions. Like, are you joking me? Why do you trust Jeff Sessions? Anomaly, you don't understand. I trust Jeff Sessions because I read a message board. You trust Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr because you read a message board on 4chan? Okay. No, Anomaly, you don't understand. It's secret intelligence. So you think it's the government. Yeah, it's the government telling us this. So you're trusting the government who's telling you to trust the government. It never made sense, guys. Not in 2018, not now. If it is the government, you're trusting the government that's telling you secret codes. Save Israel for last. Amazing Polly. Save Israel for last. Why does she say that? Because QAnon says that. Who is QAnon? A hoax at best, a counterintelligence PSYOP at worst to make you run in circles. Save Israel for last? Why do you think that? We're doing it because Q said it. Who's Q? The message board poster. How do you know it's them? Well, I don't. It's anonymous, but it's secret military intel. So you're following a government intel operation. Yeah. Red flag alert, red flag. What does save Israel for last even mean? They're just saying it because Q said it. No one's saving Israel for last. Both parties bow down to Israel because Israel has power. Trump is beholden to Israel. Biden will be beholden to Israel. That's what's going on. There is no save it for last. Save what? What are they saving for last? They have no idea because it's not real. It's just someone on a message board who typed something and they all thought it was like a Bible scripture. It's so sad. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm trying to be nice about it. I have to joke about it or else it gets annoying. These people annoy me more than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Why? Because I expect nothing from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She can't possibly annoy me more. She looks like a rabid squirrel with like jacked up eyes or something. I'm like, I get it. You're upset because you're such a liar. It doesn't bother me anymore. I just ignore it. These people are even more annoying because they act like they're on your side and they're like, we're the Patriots. All right, what are we going to do? Cheer on FEMA camps because Simon Parks told us? So you're a patriot cheering on FEMA camps? Lockdowns are good because Operation Warp Speed's a secret. No, it's not a secret operation. It's a Trump big pharma military operation to merge the three. And now Biden's going to do mass vaccinations in FEMA camps. That's what the plan is. That's the storm coming. But instead of stopping it, You just you made up hoaxes because you thought someone was going to do it for you. That's how you get people not to do anything. You give them Donald Trump and everybody worships Trump. You give them QAnon, everybody worships QAnon. Now your patriots are nowhere to be found. You say the Florida's not what it used to be, and they don't want to hear it. No, we have our guy there, so Florida's the same. No, it's not. I know I have to travel to Texas soon, and I don't even want to go because it's not the same. I know it's not the same, and I know Florida's not the same. Even South Dakota is doing better than them, and that's not the same. It's better, but this is the two-party trap. The Democrats fly left, and the Republicans crawl left, and they convince you with Trump or McCain. I know Trump's better than McCain, but still, they convince you that they're doing something to conserve anything, and they're not conserving anything. The taxes that Republicans charge under Trump that were better than Obama are still worse than socialists and communists from 1800s. The communists from 1900s, the socialists from 1900s, 1800s, they couldn't fathom how much money the U.S. government's getting. They would have been like, wait, people are going to give up 38% of their taxes? That is a progressive socialist tax. Both sides have been socialist for years. So either we're going to realize that or we're not. So the blessing is, now I'm going to get to questions. The blessing of a Joe Biden is there's no more mask. There's no more McCain. There's no more Trump. There's no more Q. Well, I'm sure Q will probably deceive people for 4 more years. There's no more secret security mission blank. No, this is what happens after 100 years of usury loans, communist takeover of academia, Hollywood, and your kids' schools. This is what happens. There is no Aquaman to save your life. This isn't a Pixar movie, okay? Andy got thrown in the toy box. I'm sorry. You've got a friend in me. You've got it's not a movie, guys. It is a movie, but it's like, if you make this many mistakes in your country and go this far left, there is no Aquaman to save you. It's fun to think about, but really it's just like a pill that you take to ignore the fact that something happened and you actually have to do anything. And the solution is really simple. If every business owner didn't lock down, the lockdown wouldn't exist. But every business owner that supported Trump did lock down, and he did too at the beginning. So that's the answer, is just stand up for yourself. Do what's right. Have a good day, enjoy yourself, and face Joe Biden the way that you wouldn't face Donald Trump. Face the Biden administration and people will. There'll be no, you think these influencers who say, oh, it's all the governors, they're going to talk about Joe Biden every single day. The same ones who wouldn't mention Trump's name once in any sort of critical light because they acted like he had no part in last year. Trump has no power. I mean, I just worship him as if he has all the power, but he has no power when it's convenient. Yeah, we get it. You're just as big as a hypocrite as Nancy Pelosi. These are the same people that will not keep Joe Biden's name out of their mouth for the next 4 years. And I'm not saying that they should, but I'm just saying they don't mean anything that they say. It's so obvious, but I know what I'm going to say is going to be unpopular among some circles. I don't care. Then it's not my circle. I don't know what people want me to say. I tell people all the time on Twitter, just unfollow me. It's fine. I'm glad for everybody. Yesterday when I went to the restaurant, literally everyone in the restaurant knew me, taking pictures. It was great. I love people. If people like me, I like them. It's awesome. I appreciate everybody who supported me. I love patriots and just everybody. But if you're just going to harass me all the time about how Florida is better than it was before, it's like, just unfollow me. It's fine. I'm not going to cry about it. I have 2 million followers. I appreciate everybody. It's helpful. But I wish I could lose more followers on Twitter. Every time, Trump had no part in the lockdowns. Trump, it's like, you're a communist sympathizer. And then they call me AOC. You're AOC. How am I AOC for standing up for the Constitution? You're AOC because you make excuses for socialism and communism when Trump is involved. He's not this powerless victim when he's in the White House. Yes, he has bad advisors. Yes, there's people around him, Fauci, Kushner, that are probably telling him to do this, do that. But he does have a say. He's the executive guy. And he didn't fight the lockdowns the same way Sweden's president did or Sweden's leader did. He just didn't. That's just what happened. I wish I could. I mean, if you want me to be like praying medic, here, I'll just write a new script for you. I'll rewrite history like a communist. Trump was a knight in shining armor who fought the lockdown. Fauci walked up to him and he said, "Not today, Fauci," and he shined Excalibur, and Fauci disappeared, and Trump beat the globalists. I mean, I can make up a fake story if it makes people feel better, but I just don't feel like doing that because that's not what happened at all. Vincent Kennedy, who got banned on Twitter, I was gonna laugh at him tomorrow, but I can't because he got banned. It's a shame. I didn't want him to. Anomaly. I like what you're saying, but I follow the Q plan, and I think that Operation Warp Speed is a super secret plan to fight Bill Gates in the future. What Trump is doing is he's rushing it through emergency approval because there's going to be a bigger and stronger virus in the future, and now he's changed the approval, and he can get it even faster through next time to save us with a real vaccine. This is the fake one with a real one the next time that there's a stronger virus. Are you done, Vincent Kennedy? Are you done brainwashing thousands of MAGA moms and holistic moms that are probably going to need psychiatric help now because you brainwashed them? Are you done making up theories? Are you done flexing your power with 100,000 followers to a bunch of trust the plan? They're panicking now. Look at them on Gab. They're like, this might be a hoax. Yeah, it is a hoax. You lied. Shame. Shame on you. So ridiculous. So that's what it is, folks. It's all good, but either we're going to learn and evolve and actually make a movement that can conserve something, or we're just going to spiral and hallucinate, all these secret fantasies about how we really fought communism and socialism when we never did. And it's just going to go that way. And I'm actually at peace with that. Not because I like it, but it's more frustrating having to deal with conservatives that aren't conserving anything all the time and trying to explain to them that in 4 years, they've literally gone backwards, because that's just what happened. We've gone backwards. We were moving forwards, and then we got knocked 50 steps backwards. That's what happened. This is the Trump thing. Year one, year two, he's barely moving. He's not doing that much, but he's holding the line. I appreciate it, And then this is the lockdowns. We're back here. That's just what happened. I wish it didn't. We can make up theories about how, anyone would have fell victim to that. Maybe it's true, but that's where we are. So either we're going to walk back forward, or we're going to sit back here and say, we're doing something. We're not doing anything. We didn't do it. We didn't do enough. It's okay. But it's so either I'm just going to keep going to the beach, having a good day, enjoying myself and watching things spiral, or we're going to form a real serious movement to do something about it. I'm going to do my part, but I'm not holding my breath for MAGA or conservatives to do anything, because they get more mad when I try to actually get people to do something. They think they're mad. Oh, I don't want to hear that. How do you think we felt in March through November when our country was being conquered and you guys didn't care because you thought there's a big election on the hand? An election that they told you to string out till January and set you up for a military thing on the 6th that they could have fought for the year beforehand. They could have stopped mass mail-in ballots by not shutting the country down. It was all a setup, but whatever. All right. I'm gonna read some comments. Thank you guys for being here. But the good news is there's no more mask. There's no more illusion. It's we the people, or it's not we the people. There is no hide behind this guy and ignore everything that happens. It's not going to cut it anymore. It didn't cut it these last 4 years. It's not going to cut it now. Don't spiral. Don't be fearful. Don't hate. Don't be, we're doomed. That's what a coward does. I'm talking to somebody, he doesn't, I'm doomed. He's excited. He's like, this is my moment to prove I'm a man. This is my moment to be a patriot. I'm a revolutionary. Real courageous men look at a moment like this. I'm ready to put it all on the line. Not, I'm scared. Oh, anomaly. Trump can't save me. It's like, what? If you're a woman and you do that, that's fine. If you're 25 or something, you do that. If you're over 40 or you're over 50 and you're a man doing that, you should be embarrassed. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not like the patroller of men here, but it's this is a real opportunity for you to step up for your country, you to be part of the solution. There's ways around this. But when you have 80 million people that aren't doing anything, nothing gets done. You need a movement that strategically moves the needle. All right, let's read some comments. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Someone said men aren't masculine anymore. Yeah, but even masculine men aren't strong. I'm not out here trying to act like I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just like, I'm not that pathetic. I'm proud to not be that pathetic. Like, I'm not the most masculine person on the planet, obviously, but like, I had no idea. Like, people are jacked with MAGA hats on and they're like afraid to even do anything. They're like, we're doomed. We're doomed. It's like, what? Are you joking? That's so weird to me, but whatever. So, all right. Someone said walk away is a movement. Yeah, it's a movement to walk away from the Democratic Party into the Republican Party. Okay. Do they have a strategic plan to stop socialism, communism? I mean, no comment. Someone said Rona is over. It was a ploy to get rid of Trump. It's bigger than Trump. Obviously, they used Rona to their advantage, but it's bigger than Trump. It's a consolidation of power. They're consolidating power. They're consolidating governments. They're consolidating business. It's a huge power grab. It's bigger than Trump, but they absolutely used it to Trump. Here's my thing, though. I don't feel that bad for him because he gave into it. He didn't stop it. He was the lockdown. He could have tried to invoke the Constitution. He didn't do it. And he stood by it forever. Yeah, he says, oh, we need to open up. But he's also said, my lockdown saved millions of lives. What's he doing when he says, my lockdown saved millions of lives? He says it all the time. He'll still say it, probably in interviews after he's president. My lockdown saved millions of lives. Unlike Sweden, lie. He's lying. He's telling people lockdowns save lives. Lockdowns don't save lives. Trump is a liar. Okay, he did a lot of good things. And then at crunch time for America, he lied to the entire world and said that lockdown saved lives because he made the bad decision to lock down. And his lockdown led to the mass mail-in ballots. And the mass mail-in ballots led to him losing. And he talked about Dominion after the election, but people have been talking about Dominion for years. You think Trump's not smart enough to know about Dominion? Why did they not have him in Texas? Because they knew about Dominion. How come Democrats were complaining about Dominion? Because they knew about Dominion. But the president of the United States with $1 billion budget and thousands of employees, nobody told him about machine voting, even though Trump talked about machine voting in 2012. No, he just set you guys up for failure. I'll fight for what's right, but I'm not going to fight for a guy who doesn't fight for me. I voted for him because he's better than Biden. I supported him in crunch time because I wanted to see him pull off a victory. But I'm not going to go out and get banned off of social media and get arrested on federal charges for a guy that'll condemn me and send the National Guard at me, but won't send it at Black Lives Matter. He's really not who people think he is. Yeah, he did better than other people. Yeah, he got some things done, but he didn't really fight for me. He's the reason he lost the election. He locked the country down. He did nothing about Dominion. And then he set all his supporters up to look like idiots. If you're going to complain about machine voting, he should have done it before the election. The mass mail-in ballots were his fault. He shut the country down. He could have used the Constitution like Sweden. Is Sweden doing mass mail-in ballots? No, because they don't act like America. They didn't fall for the ploy as hard. So I'll fight for somebody, but I'm not going to run in circles around an election when it's just a joke. Rudy Giuliani's smoking cigars. Yeah, I get it. They're trying to overturn it, but most of the reason that they didn't win is their own mistakes. Someone said he filed 60 court cases. I understand he tried to sue, but I'm saying the Dominion machines were known for years. Texas knew it. Democrats knew it. Trump complained about machine voting in 2012. He signed an executive order in 2018 about foreign interference and never used it. I don't have the power to do this, but Trump had power on multiple levels to do something about it, and he made all the wrong moves. Either he doesn't care or he wants us to run in circles and look like idiots for him when he's not really doing that much. I'll run in circles and look like an idiot for you. Can you keep the country open? He couldn't. He couldn't do it for 15 days. He couldn't do it for 30 days. He's made excuses for months and said his lockdown saved millions of lives. That's propaganda. That's communist propaganda that Trump is spewing. I locked the country down. I saved millions of lives. Sweden kept the country open. They're dying. That's communist propaganda. That's saying communism's good. Lockdowns are good. Keeping your country open and not having mask mandates is deadly. That's Trump. Someone said hindsight. It's not hindsight because I've been saying it since March and April. The data has been clear. Guys, I am one person with a cell phone, a computer. I don't have a team. If I can do the research, Trump has 1,000 people and a coronavirus task force. All this data was available in April. I called him out in April. I said, bro, you're being a communist. This is not even real. All the stuff he said about Sweden was not even real back then, let alone now. They've been lying. If I can do it with my own computer, how come his task force can't do it? Because they don't want to do it. How come nobody in the Trump administration do it? Because they misled you. They made either the wrong decision or a bad decision. I'm not going to have someone's back who doesn't have my back. In crunch time for America, he locked me in my house and flew jets over my head and say, if I would have opened the country, millions of people would have died. It's communist propaganda. It was never true. And that's the reason that the mass mail-in ballots happened in general. That's why the mail-in ballots even came. His own decision to be a lockdown communist sympathizer. I don't want this to be what happened, but it's just what happened. Someone said it's time to pledge allegiance to the truth now, not politicians or not parties. Well, that's the problem. I think, Jesse Lee Peterson always says the Black community went to hell in a handbasket, as he says, when they started following leaders instead of God. He said when Black America followed God, families stayed together. Black people were better off. That's what he says. And then he says they started following these Black leaders, and look at the family rate, look at the divorce rate, look at the, average income wealth. A lot of it's gone down in a lot of these major areas because in his opinion, he said they stopped following God. They started following Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. And it's similar to this. You have, Christians will follow a pastor. I get why, but there's going to be the rapture. It never comes. They'll follow a politician more than they follow their own intuition. That is a problem. They'll follow QAnon because it's a fairy tale that sounds good. Yeah, pedophiles are real. That's true. But there is no secret military sting operation. That's taking advantage of your emotion. There's pedophiles. I want them arrested. So does everybody. There's really bad elites that are doing evil stuff in other countries. I want them held accountable. So then there's bad actors that are taking advantage of your emotions because you're a good person who wants it to happen. And then they feed you a story that it's already happening. So nobody makes it happen because they all think it's already happening. That's the plot. People don't follow God. They don't follow their intuition. They don't follow common sense. It's Team Red versus Team Blue. And I'm not being mean to Trump and I'm not being mean to Republicans, but Team Blue leads the way and they're flying towards communism, and Team Red walks with them towards communism while pretending to fight them. All of them. Trump, DeSantis, they're all moving in that direction while just giving the illusion that they're really resisting, but they're not. Maybe it's harder to do, but if you think it's happening, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to feel like the whole world is shattered when Biden won. But in reality, exactly what was happening is just getting a new face. And that face looks like Health Director Levine. Do you want me to show you what she looks like? Communism's got a new face, folks. It's what's her name? Jennifer Levine or something. I don't know. Hell, I'm going to look her up. Hold on. You guys know what I'm talking about, from Pennsylvania. Levine. That's the new face of America. Transgender doctor Rachel Levine, the assistant health secretary. So that's what health looks like in the country, folks. But here's the thing. It's a new face for Dr. Fauci. Trump, he did a few things with I gotta regain myself. I just looked at the headline. It's not a pretty sight. Anyway, in general, Trump gave the illusion that he was fighting big pharma, but he really wasn't. I mean, in some ways, the medical thing he did was good, but if you want to be honest, the prices at the hospital, that's a big win in normal world. In COVID slave world, that's a nothing burger. It doesn't even really matter compared to all the negatives from COVID. So he funded Moderna. He put in Scott Gottlieb and all these Eli Lilly guys and Alex Azar and, the big Operation Warp Speed, what's his name, Monkeef or whatever. He put a bunch of big pharma executives in. So everybody, big pharma had the face of Trump, MAGA, 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 and everybody thought it was good, but it was evil. What Trump was doing was evil. It was just as evil as what probably Obama did with healthcare, just in a different way. Operation Warp Speed is one of the biggest betrayals of America. What Trump did, rushing that through, getting it out to the elderly when it was 8 months into trial and they're not liable for all the lawsuits and stuff. It's evil. That's evil what he did. So now you get what you deserve. You get Levine. There is no more pretty face on the health industry as far as, oh, Trump's saving my work. No, he's not. So now you get the face of what it really looks like. Rachel Levine. That's your new health. Okay. So now there's no illusion that it's the good guy's secret Gitmo operation. No, you get what you deserve. God is making it, and I'm not going to speak like praying medic and act like I got a message from him, but in general, I think the message is you need to face it. You can't just run away from it. You can't just look at the last 100 years and say, Aquaman's going to come swim through and save my life and make everything good. And it's not how it's going to work. Now we have to face it. That's the blessing. It's either a blessing or a lesson. It's a blessing in disguise. It's so real, you can't ignore it. There is no more, maybe they're doing, no, they're not. Rachel Levine is not secretly working with Bill Barr. There is going to be no QAnon theories about Rachel Levine and Joe Biden swimming through the deep state to save you. Ooh, Joe Biden's a secret operative. I mean, his whole life, he's just been pretending. He's just been pretending to be a Democrat, but Joe Biden's secretly fighting the deep state. There's going to be no theories like that, because it doesn't even make any sense. But that's a good thing. There's no more veil. There's no more confusion. That's your government. That's your health industry. That's your president. That's your House of Representatives. That's your Congress. Now deal with it. There's no more, oh, they're fighting for us. No, they're not. So in a way, it's a blessing. Now you know. Someone said we will all suffer. People already suffered last year, though. People suffered more in the Trump administration in the last year of the corona lockdowns than in ever before. So this is not new. It's only new in your head because you don't want to believe that a Trump administration would be any sort of bad news. It already was bad news, and he had no plan. You can't fight these people by rushing a Moderna vaccine. He wasn't even trying to fight. So people already suffered, and you didn't care for a year because you like Trump so much, you're willing to hallucinate like nothing happened. What could possibly have been worse than 2020? I mean, I guess we'll find out, but this illusion that everything was grand and Trump was making no one suffer just is not true. That's not what happened. Someone said, but it's going to be worse. I mean, we'll see what happens. Will Americans stand up for their country and strategically try to figure out how to get it back? Most people are too lazy. Trump's not going to be able to save you even if he was trying as hard as you think he was trying. It's not possible. When you have 80 million patriots and 75 million of them don't want to do anything, you don't have a patriotic movement. It's going to take some work. I don't know what to tell people. Like life, I'm not nervous because life is not handed to you on a silver platter. I didn't have Anderson Cooper as a father. I didn't have connections in the news industry or the music industry. I had no money. I had no equipment. Things are not handed to you in this life. Do you want to work? I don't like the media. I want to become a better media than the mainstream media. And I did that. And I did it bigger than CNN and New York Times at a certain point, outperforming them on Facebook. Why? Because I worked my ass off because I'm not a pussy. No offense, but it's like, everything's not given to you. Why? Oh, things are going to get worse. Yeah, they will get worse if people don't want to do anything. If you just want to, let life pass you by and just let anybody do whatever, that's fine. But you can't complain when exactly what's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not trying to be mean, but either you step up to the call or you don't step up to the call. But if you don't step up to the call, you can't complain because Trump didn't save you. He's not going to save you. If you're a restaurant owner and you close down, you caved. And Trump caved, but you don't have to do it. You caved. Life is not easy. Life is not handed to you. America is a great country because we had brave people who fought for their own country. We don't have any fighters anymore. We just have people who pretend to fight. how hard do you want to work to make something better? If everybody works to make something better, the country gets better. If everybody sits on the sideline and says it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. If everybody sits and says Trump's going to save me, it's going to get worse. If everybody sits and says we're doomed under Biden, it's going to get worse. Our forefathers worked in coal mines and factories and asbestos factories. They came overseas with pennies in their pockets. My great-grandfather started a trash company. He had no money in America. If you had the drive of your ancestors, we would be free tomorrow. So it's like, it's sad. I don't know. I didn't like what I saw, so I tried to become a better version of what I wanted to do, and I did it. So I don't want to share 45% of my money with a bunch of lazy drug addicts who don't work this hard. No, I busted my ass for 10 years to get here. And now Joe Biden's going to steal 45% of it. Is it going to get worse? Probably, but that's life. That's just how it goes. If enough people stand up and step up, it's over tomorrow. But nobody wants to work that hard. They've conditioned people to just expect everything. This is why you're going to lose it. If you don't appreciate what you have, you lose it. And for decades, no one's appreciated what we've had. Our ancestors made it really good. In the early 1900s and the late 1900s, they worked hard to get your family here in a lot of cases. Immigrants, people who busted their ass, and then people just sat on the couch all day and watched television and just thought that Trump was going to save them or something. So now you get exactly what you deserve. You deserve Joe Biden. I'm not being mean, but we're not a serious country anymore. And that's why we got this. If you go to Germany or UK, no offense, but they're not a serious country. You don't have real men. You don't have diversity of thought. You have a bunch of people who snitch on each other because that's the culture there. And they've made a socialist communist culture for 100 years. We're America. Do we have fight? Not does Trump have fight? Not is Trump going to save us? Do we have fight? Are the citizens of this country, the 300 plus million people here, are we strong enough and brave enough to have freedom? Or are we just a bunch of softies? So it's not. If people have that mentality, yeah, you're doomed for that reason. But I'm not afraid of this. I look at it like a challenge. Okay, this will show how tough people really are. If things get real, how real do people get? We failed the test last year. Trump was the president. We failed. We caved. We caved to Trump. We caved to Fauci. We caved to Democrats. We caved to Republicans. Republicans caved to Fauci. Republicans caved to Trump. Republican mayors caved to Newsom. It's a bunch of caving. That's all we do. We don't have to do that. We don't have to cave, and we can do it peacefully, but it's going to take resistance, real resistance, not just oh no, Biden's going to be there. Yeah, Biden's going to be there. So that's the wake-up call. That's what are we going to do? It's a blessing because it was never going to come from one person anyway. It's the sum of 100, 200 million people. Someone said Trump gave his farewell speech. I could play it if you want me to play it on here. Someone said, as a Christian, I must admit I made a mistake. I placed my hope in Trump instead of focusing on God. I viewed Trump as the savior, but really Christ as the savior. I took my eyes off. Well, God bless you, Samuel. I'll listen. We'll find the Trump speech real quick. Did he post it on Twitter? Let's see. Trump. What's it called? Farewell. Did he pardon Assange? Probably not. All right, here's the farewell speech. I'm playing the Trump farewell speech.
4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat, but about the good of a nation. And that means the whole nation.
I don't know if that's the whole thing. Someone said, what economy? I mean, it was good for the first 3 years, but this last year, he tanked 100,000 small businesses and started just bragging about the stock market. I'm not trying to blame him. I know COVID was not his fault, but he's like, look, the stock market's back up. It's like, yeah, you wiped out 100,000 restaurants and you don't even care. He barely tweeted about it. Stock market's up. The stock market's up. Yeah, because you crashed the economy, gave them billions of dollars, screwed us all over, gave us $600. And then, yeah, the stocks went back up. But you know what didn't go back up? 100,000 restaurants. We'll find out when he's out of office. Is he going to lead the charge against the lockdown? Don't believe what I say. Just follow your own intuition. When he's out of office, you'll be able to tell if he's super real and super helpful or if he's all about himself and all about his ego. Because if he's real, he'll lead the movement against the lockdowns. He'll lead the movement for freedom. If he's about himself, he'll talk about Operation Warp Speed, how great it was, and then you'll know that's not your guy. That's not your leader. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out of office. Operation Warp Speed. I don't see him being the anti-lockdown leader. He's, in a way, there isn't a serious anti-lockdown movement in the country because there's a Trump movement in the country. It's a movement behind Trump. Vote for Trump, support Trump, defend Trump, election Trump. It's a Trump movement. And the Trump movement became the not lockdown movement. Some people are, some people aren't. It's about the election. It's about this. Operation Warp Speed's good. So in many ways, he's built the greatest political movement ever. In other ways, he's created the biggest movement ever of conservatives that can't seem to conserve anything and don't even realize it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he becomes a real leader outside the White House and says, hey, no more lockdowns. Let's get the country running. If he does that, I'll be 100% behind him. If he says Operation Warp Speed, lockdown saved millions of lives, Joe Biden botched the swine flu, I'm done with it. I'm done with the platitudes about lockdowns and stuff, but we'll see what happens. It's real. It's going to be very real. Wait, did Trump really, did he pardon? Who did he pardon? Let me see. Did he pardon Assange or no? He's also blocking he's got people blocking. People want Ross Ulbright, Assange, Snowden pardoned. We'll see if he really does it. We'll see. I don't think he's going to pardon Assange. I think, people, here's the funniest part. This is here. If you don't want to hear anything else, listen to what I say here and just consider it, because this is like explaining to people how this could be a psyop. So if you follow the Q stuff, Q says trust Barr, trust Sessions, trust Trump, trust Pompeo. Like now they're trusting Pompeo because Lynn Wood's talking about Pompeo. That whole movement, trust Pompeo, trust Barr, whatever. Julian Assange really launched a big movement. Not only did he help Trump win, in my opinion, in 2016, but Julian Assange dropped the WikiLeaks Podesta emails, okay? All the stuff that the QAnon is building off of, it all came from the speculation over the Podesta emails. That's where the whole movement even was started before QAnon was even a thing. You had the Podesta emails by WikiLeaks. Julian Assange got arrested because of his role in it, or falsely accused of all this stuff. And then QAnon came along, and then a lot of these Q people turned against Julian Assange, and they started worshiping Bill Barr and Jeff Sessions and Pompeo. But if you look at Bill Barr and Pompeo, they hate Julian Assange. So they've psyoped conservatives into believing there's a fake military intel plan and brainwashing them to support government agents who don't support them, who actually don't want to free the person who even launched their movement in the first place. Because with no Podesta emails, there is no Q. Q was an evil psyop. Yes, human trafficking is real, but it turned people against all the people who got Trump elected. It turned people against the people who were there to make Q even a thing, who gave the information in the first place. A lot of them were railing at WikiLeaks because WikiLeaks was saying Q was fake years ago, because WikiLeaks is a real organization and Q is a hoax psyop. And all these people were like, oh, WikiLeaks is bad now. Julian Assange is bad now. It's like, no, Pompeo is going to save me. The same Pompeo who doesn't want to save Julian Assange, it's like a psyop to run people in a circle. People don't think like that. So you're worshiping a government deep state guy who literally wants Julian Assange killed. And with no Julian Assange, you don't even have a Q, because it's building off of the Podesta emails. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. It's sprinkled truths with lies to invert reality. What's the truth? Patriots need to stand up against the lockdowns. Whether it's Trump, with Trump in office, you have more of an ally. In my opinion, I don't believe that Trump is the most evil person on the planet. Quite the contrary. I think he's movable. I think he has a soul inside him, no matter how many advisors he has. So when Trump's in office, if the Patriots stand up to Trump, that means you might get something out of it. With Biden, you're going to get the National Guard turned against you. So you had a year, I'm not trying to be mean, but we had a year to get this all done, and nothing got done because no one wanted to do it, because everybody worships Trump like a Christ and worships QAnon. Oh, if you stand up to Trump, you're not a patriot. Oh, you're AOC anomaly because you care about freedom. Now you lost everything. This is all well-deserved. Joe Biden is well-deserved for the Patriots who thought it was a good idea to not stand up to Trump, to not stand up to Republicans, to not stand up against the lockdowns, to wait till after the election. This is not a shocking result for a group of people that is unwilling to do that. And standing up to Trump was never a bad thing. MAGA became a cult where it was a religion that you can't question. No, Trump was a human that was your best ally in the White House. Trump's the type of person, if you come to him and stand to him, he might overturn it. Biden's not going to do crap for you. So you squandered the biggest opportunity in modern history. Trump's presence was a rare opportunity where you could get stuff done. How did I get to go to the White House? I don't know. I just made videos and people liked it that were near Trump and said, hey, you should come to the White House because you're part Hispanic. So I went. I'm never going to get to go to the White House under Biden. Thank God, because I don't want to go. But in general, that's what Trump's movement was. I'm not saying it in a bad, evil way. He's the worst person in the world. No, he's a human being and he's open to consideration. So when you have somebody like Trump there, you want to question him. You want to challenge him. You want to tell him, bro, I like the country more than I like you. I like the Constitution more than I like you. And if he's a real patriot, he should know that. I like you, but lockdowns, quarantines, this type of stuff, you need to stand up against it. You need to counter Fauci. There was virtually no movement like that because people treated it like a cult. He's always playing five-dimensional chess. He's never made a mistake in his life. Every move is a secret calculated move to take down the deep state. No, it wasn't. He didn't just lose the election. You lost the election because it's not a soap opera, fantasy, anime movie about Trump saving your life. That's not what this is. You're a part of it, and we the people failed. Now you get Joe Biden. That's how I always saw it. Oh, anomaly, don't question Trump in April. Why? He's the president of the United States, and he's the top guy, and he's doing this, so he should be questioned. No, anomaly, he's doing it for the election optics. The election optics? There are no election optics because the lockdowns were the reason that the ballots were mass produced. He did that to himself, and I was trying to stop it, and Thomas Massie was trying to stop it, and everyone yelled at us. You deserve to lose. You lost. That's why. Not because I said something in April, because no one wanted to say anything. It became a cult. Not just Q people, just normal Trump people. All my friends like Trump. Some of them are rational about it. Others aren't. Others think it's a video game where he's never made a mistake in his life. He's still going to win. It's all a hook. No, he's a human. He had bad advisors. You could have been a good advisor. We, the people, could have been a good advisor. 150 million people saying, we're not shutting down. This is bad. No more Operation Warp Speed. No. He would have probably done something about it. But 60 million people, oh my God, I know you're just taking away my freedoms as a secret plan to arrest Podesta. No, that was never true. That was the trap. That's why I felt this way for over a year. Oh, you've changed. I said this in April and May and June. You can go back to 2019. I told people when he passed something that was anti-constitutional, anti-First Amendment, I don't want to hear it. Just wait till after the election. Can you believe that's what my conservative friends told me that are influencers? Oh, just wait till after the election. This was before coronavirus. What does that tell you about some of these conservative influencers? Do they really care about the First Amendment? No, they don't. Do they really care about the Constitution? No, they care about making money and getting big fancy placements at CPAC and Ben Shapiro's little friends and stuff to make money and go to colleges and tell people that they're patriots. It's like an Instagram model with, fake boobs that acts like she's a workout instructor. It's like, are you really in a fitness model? Maybe, but maybe you just have fake tits and guys like to look at it. So they go to your Instagram page. which is fine, but you don't have to. Are you really a fitness instructor? Maybe, but most of them aren't. Oh, I'm a model. What do you model? OnlyFans? Private trips? That's fine, but like, are you really a model? What agency do you work with? So it's the same dynamic. Like, yeah, I get it. You're hustling, you're making money, but you're not who you say you are. It's the same with these conservative influencers. They're not even conserving anything, and I know they don't care. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I said this last year before coronavirus. This is anti-constitutional. Just be quiet. Don't say that. Why? We're the constitutionalists. Oh, no. We're just Republicans and conservatives. What are you conserving if you're not conserving the Constitution? I've seen them do this for a year and a half. You deserve Joe Biden. I dislike these people almost as much as I dislike the liberals that are, because they take these positions, and the only thing they care about conserving is their own fame and their own power and their own status as an influencer. They don't give a crap if Trump passes something anti-constitutional, because they're not who they say they are. They're the same with the hot chick on Instagram who tells you she's a model, never modeled a day in her life. It's the same thing. Mad Max said, how does Trump have a soul after creating the mRNA vax? Other than that, keep swinging at him. I mean, I like to think he has a soul, but I don't agree with what he did. But I'm not the type of person who's going to pretend like I like it just because I like him. I never did it, not for a single day. I reported on Operation Warp Speed accurately from day one. And I'm proud to be one of the only people who voted for Trump that actually told the truth about it. I don't know what this is. I don't understand. I don't have this fake bone in my body, folks, but that's why I'm here. Now I'm pumped up. I told you I'm getting jacked this year. We're not cut from the same cloth, folks. You know, they don't make them like me anymore. It's like Jackie Robinson. Why was he stealing so many bases? They don't cut them like me no more, folks. I'm not just here. Oh, I'm a conservative influencer. Book me for the big Charlie Kirk event. Why would I want to go if you guys can't even conserve anything? What are you conserving? When I try to tell you that you're selling out the First Amendment, and you know you're selling out the First Amendment, but you don't even want to talk about it because you'd rather win an election than stand up for the Constitution, and then you don't have an election because the whole election year was BS because you don't stand for anything. You don't stand for the Constitution, you lose it. And if you have an election in a year where there's no Constitution, you lose the election. Duh. Well, no, we don't talk about this. So wait till next year. If you don't have a constitution, you don't have a country. If you don't have a country, you don't win the election. They lost the Constitution last year. They sold it out even further, March, April, May, and then they lost the election from the mail-in ballot scheme that came from them not standing up for the Constitution. It's so obvious. It's like, oh, it was the Democrats. You can't even hold your own Constitution. So yeah, they're going to take advantage of you. It's so obvious. D. Rice said, wow, that's all I hear out of your mouth. That's how you want to perceive it. First of all, it's half of this has been hilarious, but second of all, you don't want to hear it. It's like being down 25 at halftime. Yeah, la, we're up 50 points. I work with Gitmo. I have friends in Gitmo. Now, you don't understand. I listen to Simon Parks, the alien whose parents were, deep state operatives. He's going to tell me about the FEMA camps. It's like, yeah, that's what you want to hear, I'm sure. He'll get 100,000 views. Someone said Fauci never mentioned vitamins, exercise, and sunshine. Neither did Trump. He eats McDonald's cheeseburgers, sleeps 5 hours, and he's going to live till he's like 150. The dude's got insane genetics. Someone said, dude, the conservative influencers are clout chasers. I know. And I'm not being mean. This is a challenge. Listen, it's okay to get clout. If you want to be famous, knock yourself out. But I would say the fame is not what you should chase. You should chase, something bigger than that. But if you want the money and you want, to be able to feed your family, I get it. Get your money, get your clout. If you want it, but just be who you say you are. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to be a conservative clout chaser, stand up for the First Amendment. They're like, I stand up for the First Amendment. The First Amendment gets infringed upon. I'm like, hey guys, they literally told me, hey, don't talk about this now. Talk about it after the election. Imagine hearing your favorite conservative influencer say, don't talk about infringements on the First Amendment. And I'm like, but then they're bragging about, oh, well, I'm going here, I'm going there. It's like a big clout game for them. But that's the problem. Chase your clout if you want to chase your clout. But if you're chasing clout 100% and standing up for the Constitution 0%, you're just a liar. I respect the chick with fake tits with an OnlyFans account more than I respect these conservative influencers. It's like she's just as much of a model as you are a patriot. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I'm going there. Someone said, keep the faith, bruh. Who has more faith than us? We have our faith in God, not in Gitmo operations with, military intel, Bolshevik psyops, and pathological liars who call themselves Q decoders. That's not where our faith is. Our faith is in God. I have faith. I have faith in the people have told me for the last hour, we're doomed, we're dead. I'm like, no, we're not. We're fine. We're going to be fine. And then you accuse me, oh, have faith. I have faith. I have faith in the country, but it's going to take, this is halftime, folks. Do you want to win? Do you want to get jacked with me this year? Or do you just want to say we're doomed and gloomed because you expect a campus conservative to save you? That's not saving you. I have faith. I don't have faith in liars. I have faith in God. And I'm blessed with the discernment to not run down every trap all the time. I make mistakes. I run down rabbit holes that are wrong sometimes. But I'm lucky as I've gotten older, I've learned. And, I try to not make the same mistakes as I made before. But in general, as a movement, I have faith for myself. I have faith in God. But my faith in Republicans and MAGA, that's going to depend on, can we evolve? Can we learn? Can we grow? Or are we just going to keep spiraling with the same traps? I don't know. I can't change anybody else. I can only change myself. They say change yourself to change the world. That's why I'm getting too jacked for the gulag. So we're just going to get more jacked. Someone said people don't want to hear the truth. It's tickling out the ears. Just get more jacks. I need to do my triceps earlier. Too many bicep crunches. See, my back still kind of hurts. Hopefully my back will stop hurt after I get more jacked. All right. Someone said differentiate between Q and God. How can you believe in one 100 and denounce the other? Well, one's the creator of the universe. One is, the Lord, or what in different religions people would consider where everything came from. For example, we're here, you look outside, you got this, you got that. Clearly something's going on. So all of this, you could say, oh, it came from nothing. There's nothing. We all came from nothing. But coming from nothing makes just as much sense as coming from a divine creator. I used to be an atheist, so I know that argument. We're we came from nothing. It's that doesn't make any more sense. There's nothing, there's something. That just happened. Okay, how is that? Well, God is dumb. It's it's just as dumb to think that everything came from nothing as a divine creator makes more sense. You look at a fractal in a cauliflower, it's just a perfect pattern. Let's be honest, the Lord's hands on that. But anyway, how can I have faith in that, but not in an anonymous Bolshevik psyop operation that tells people to trust Jeff Sessions? I don't know. The entire planet and everything that I could see with my eyes versus someone telling me to trust Bill Barr. I think it's a pretty easy differentiation there for me as far as what I trust and what I don't. But someone, oh man. Someone said that's a ridiculous question. Q is not God. People think it's God though, because the people mix in Bible verses. How would you trick a patriot conservative with Bible verses? With, it's going to be biblical. The Bible's biblical. QAnon is not biblical. QAnon is satanic. It's taking real things and mixing it with trust the government. Hey, trust Bill Barr. Why did so many people trust Bill Barr? A lot of them trusted them because QAnon told them to trust Bill Barr. And then they think they're fighting pedophiles. How are you fighting pedophiles when you trust the guy that pretty much looked out for Jeffrey Epstein? You're fighting the pedophiles by supporting the pedophiles? It's so obviously a psyop. We're fighting the pedophiles. Who was there? Who is the attorney general when Epstein disappeared? The guy you guys are worshiping. It's so obvious. Yeah, but he gave me Jeremiah 5:5. It's like, yeah, of course, because they know you're Christian and conservative. So it's like Satan just dangling a carrot in front of your face, and you're like, I'm gonna get the deep state any day now. And like that, yeah, you never get to the carrot. It's not. Someone said, when did Q say trust Barr? Do you remember trust Sessions? Trust Sessions, trust Sessions, trust Sessions. He said it like 5 times. And then Sessions went away. Well, who came in? Bill Barr. Oh, we're going to trust Barr now. I don't know. I don't decode all of these Bolshevik psyops. I don't have time. I do my own research. I don't need to read, oh, trust Barr. It's like, no, I don't need an anonymous government agent to tell me to trust like an attorney general. It's like, how about I don't? Trust Rachel Levine. Oh, Rachel Levine's a double spy. Someone said, for the plan to work tomorrow, it needed to disappoint you. Think how those implicated read Q, Michael Avenatti. They don't tell you secrets before they do it. If they were going to make a big play on Biden and Pelosi and all these people or whoever you think they're going for, they'd have to do it really secretively, because these people know everybody. It's not secret if they tell you on a message board. You're not blowing anybody's mind except for people with really low IQ or super emotional attachment to like wizard spells. It's not hard. Anomaly. I mean, think about it, man. They have to make you pretend like they're not doing it in order to do it. It's not secret. Bro, X22 and Simon Parks are getting millions of views with all of their hoax videos. How is that secret? If they were going to sneak up on Biden, they would tell no one. Have you ever talked to anybody in the military? Even high-level people in the military don't even know that much stuff because they don't just walk around and tell everybody, because if they told everyone, everyone would know. So they don't need to disseminate a secret plan 4 years in advance on an estimate. But Anomaly, think about it. I mean, you want him to pretend like he's winning, so they told you to tell everybody else. It's not a secret. Everyone knows about it now. It's one of the most well-known psyops in the country, and it's working perfectly. It's giving the left wing something to censor right wingers. It's giving the left wing something to honeypot trap people in and then, destroy their life with. And it's not even right to begin with. If you're going to fall, if you're going to fall down, at least fall down with a honorable ship. You're falling for a honeypot trap. It's like going to a brothel and all the people are there like double agents and stuff trying to get your info. It's like there's no winning there, and they're all ugly. It's like, at least if they were super hot or something, you're like, well, I had a good night, but they got me in the honeypot. You're like, I went buck wild. These chicks were like 10 out of 10. They took all my information, my credit card, but like I had a great night. You're like, all right, at least you had a good night or something. But like it's like the Q. It's like I'm not saying the actual women. I'm just saying like it's equivalent to going to a brothel, getting honeypotted, but like all the chicks are disgusting. So it's like, you're like, I don't even know if it was a chick or not. I don't know. She was disgusting, like ugliest girl I ever seen. So don't go. There's no benefit to even being there in the first place. You're not going down in an honorable fight for your country. You're going down with a psyop that is literally equivalent to a Bolshevik psyop that they used to round up patriots back in the day. They're not going to round you up, but they did digitally round you up. Ooh, trust the plan. Oh, we all go. Ooh, every time Trump retweeted one of them, they got banned. I have to say it's funny, although I don't believe in censorship. CJ Truth. They were like, ooh, I can't wait to get retweeted by Trump. And Trump retweets them, and then they get banned off Twitter. Every time Trump retweeted them, they got banned. It's like a honeypot trap. They all go, ooh, Gitmo's coming, Gitmo's coming. The storm's coming. And then they all get just purged off social media, and literally everything that they ever said is wrong. It's really embarrassing. At least if you're going to get censored, just be right. There's a lot of people who get censored that are like way more honest, not these people though. Someone said jumping jacks. I could go for it. I'm trying to stretch real quick. I could go for some jumping jacks. All right. Couple more minutes, then we're out. I know I always say that. I would love to keep this under 2 hours. Let's do it. All right. Did Trump really concede? He's not going to concede, but he's going to leave. Someone said there's good points and bad points, and they make it hard for anyone to figure out. I'm going to do a better video on it tomorrow, but the whole thing, it's a trap. It's like disinfo is necessary. 60% of it's real, 40% of it's not. So you're scrambling your brain all the time. It's like just research on your own. You don't need a team of These are the least loyal people in the world too. This is not a team of merry patriots. They hate each other and they hate you the second that you question them. If you realize that it's fake, they will flip out on you and like go psycho over liberals and call you an agent. You know, the woman who died at the Capitol was a big cute person and she followed Lynn Wood and stuff. And as soon as she died, they're all like, "Oh, she's fake. She's fake." She has a profile. I know friends who like talked to her. She was a conservative who really loved QAnon and really loved Lynn Wood and went to the Capitol and died. And that's what happened. And then her own crew, if she could probably see in the afterlife, look down, she's not being celebrated. Some people are celebrating her, but half the Q people are trying to say she was a double agent. So it's like, this is who these people are. You die for their cause and they don't even like you. They think you're a setup. Because it's hard to tell who's a Fed and not, because like the whole movement, people act like Feds. You see a guy with the horns on his thing. If I didn't know any better, I'd think he was the Fed. But the whole movement's so sloppy and filled with weirdos like that. I know multiple people who act just like the guy with the horns. So it's like, is he a Fed or is he a normal guy? Who knows? It's hard to tell. But how bad is a movement that you don't even know who's literally that weird or who's just like actually playing the part? I don't know. Scott Carpenter said we got to get jacked. Trust that plan. All right, we'll end on a good note. Let's read some good comments. Someone said you acting like a Fed. This is what they do, though. I could question anything. I talk about Bill Gates. Everyone loves it. I talk about this. I talk about that. I question McConnell. I do everything. I talk about Operation Warp Speed, and then people start getting pissed off. Why? Is it true? Of course, but I question Trump, so it's bad. God forbid you question QAnon, though, the fake Bolshevik psyop to make patriots believe there's a secret Gitmo plan that never existed. God forbid you question that. They call you Mossad. The joke's on you. Trump is the most pro-Israel president ever. So you're probably getting fooled by a Mossad psyop, if anything. Oh, you're Mossad if you disagree with QAnon. It's a pro-Israel psyop. People that are pro-Israel love QAnon. Oh, Mike Pompeo is going to save us. Mike Pompeo is the biggest Zionist pro-Israel person on the planet. So how is everybody who disagrees with you Mossad when you worship the most pro-Mossad people to ever walk in the White House? Trump, all his advisors, Pompeo, Barr, they're all massively pro-Israel. So if anyone's getting fooled by Mossad, it's you. It's like you guys are everybody who disagrees with me is working for Mossad. Like, says the person who worships Mike Pompeo. Like, get your conspiracies right. You got like 5 different conspiracies going on at once. You're like, I'm fighting the pedophiles by worshiping the attorney general who literally doesn't do anything about pedophiles. Like, all right, well, then maybe someone lied to you. I don't know. Someone said Q is military board for high-ranking military. Yeah, a Q level clearance is a real thing. But just because someone puts a Q on a message board doesn't mean that it's military people. Guys, the military's not sending codes on 4chan to you. You have to get over yourself eventually. You have to get over yourself. You're not that important. You're not that special. The military does not send you secret codes because the good guys are going to help you. The people who do that are the CIA and MI15 or whatever they're called and Mossad. It's the intelligence communities. People like Pompeo that you worship. Look at what he says. He says, when I was at West Point, they told me not to lie. And then I got to the CIA and they told me to lie. That's just what they do. It's like a whole intelligence operation. So you're worshiping what you think is secret military intelligence. If it's really intelligence, it's probably a psyop, or it's probably just some fat kid in his basement who got a lot of power because he posted a Q on 8chan. Just because you post a Q doesn't mean you're literally Q military intel. It's so obvious. I don't understand how big people's ego are. You think you're that special that the military is going to feed you secret codes in advance? Guys, none of these people thought Trump was going to lose. Not a single one of them. They all told you people would get arrested in 2019 and 2020. They all said he was going to win. They all said he had a secret plan. Praying Medic, X-22, they all told you this for 3 years, and now they're all backpedaling because they lied. It was never real. There is no secret military group sending you secret codes. It's, if anything, it's a counterintelligence operation to make you think that it's happening so you don't actually do anything. Or the only time that you do anything is to go to a honeypot trap that's used like the 6 to steal your freedoms. It's so obvious. But people can't get over themselves. They're like, dude, if you knew what I knew, it's like if you're in the military, you might have secret military info. If you're just sitting on your computer reading 8chan message boards with a Q on it, you're not getting secret military intel. Tanya said, I missed when the right knew that martial law was a bad idea. Let's trust in God, not in any politicians. Do push-ups. We all good. Exactly, Tanya. For 50 years, every right-winger knew that martial law was a bad idea until QAnon, the Bolshevik psyop that told people that martial law was to save them. Nobody would have ever put up with this. Nobody would have ever liked it. Nobody would have ever supported it. Only Simon Parks and Praying Medic flipped the script and said the martial law is to save you. The military is your best friend. We support the military, but mostly they just take orders. Talk to actual military members. You think I don't have military members following me? I have, you wouldn't even believe who's following me. But people in the military know. They don't know that much. Even if you're higher level, they don't just tell everybody in the military everything. You know, they keep a lot of the secrets to themselves. And the higher up you go, they're not all good guys. There's good guys, but a lot of times the top level bureaucrat guys running the show, they're not the greatest people. You know, not all, you know, they're the same as like the Faucis of the military industry. It's like, yeah, there's great soldiers. I support our troops. Absolutely. I support the medicine industry, but I don't like Fauci because he's not the best scientist in the world. He's just the best politician who got to that power. Someone says Sports Bra is your name. Funny name. Thank you. But, you know, it's like that's what the National Guard is not in DC to save you. They're not there to protect the people. They're there to protect Congress. Congress is afraid of you. So they're lining it with military to protect themselves and send a message. You're a terrorist. We need a protection. And also they're trying to weed out far right-wing people in the military because they're afraid of the military, just like they're afraid of you. In one way you could say it's good. Yeah, they're afraid of you, but they're not there to do deep state Gitmo arrests. Like these channels are so evil. They've destroyed the minds of the right wing. Yes, Fox News can be nonsense, but and more deep diving stuff is more real. But people left and were like, I got to go further because that's fake. So they know that you're looking for that information. So they're going to send traps and trap people to do that to you, to give you what you want to hear, and then run you off a cliff and say, you disagree with martial law, right? Yeah, of course. The FEMA camps are bad. Oh no, they're good now. They're for the bad guys. It doesn't even make any sense, guys. It doesn't make any sense. They don't need extra facilities to arrest high-level people. You think if they arrested Joe Biden, they'd put him in a FEMA camp? Are you out of your mind? Jeffrey Epstein was high level and they put him in the highest level facility and the cameras went off. You think they can't they're running out of room for Joe Biden, so they need FEMA camps because Simon Parks claims he's an alien and has intelligence community in his family? Guys, if you're this easy to fool, it's a wrap on the movement. That's why do you care so much? Because the movement that's supposed to save America is getting brainwashed off a cliff. If you go to BitChute used to be, 2 months ago, BitChute was more right wing, and it was like deeper stuff that you won't find on YouTube or at Turning Point USA. A lot of weird stuff, but also a lot of good stuff. Now the top 5 people are all psyops. Maybe some of these people are setups. Maybe they're just really fake, but it's like they're getting 10 million views. I don't care. I don't need any views on BitChute. But what does that mean? It means right-wingers, Trump supporters, what do they want to hear? They want to hear the lie. It's like when Steve Piesnik or whatever his name is, the guy that's always on InfoWars, he told everybody there was a secret sting operation for ballots. He lied. He lied so many times. It's insane. But in general, That video got millions of views. It was the biggest video ever. Someone said, just hope. Have faith in God. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in your country. Do not put hope in a hoax. Don't put hope in a psyop. It's blasphemous. Have faith in God. Have faith in your country. Have faith in yourself. If you're so desperate for something to happen that you're willing to believe anybody, you're going to funnel your hope into a liar, into the enemy, into somebody that's leading you in the wrong direction. You get what I'm saying? It's like if we need to eat food to survive and I tell you, hey, you're against them, right? And you're like, yeah, so don't eat or drink for a year. And it's like, you get what I'm saying? They give you what you want to hear and then run you off a cliff with really bad advice that's going to destroy the country. That's what they're doing. It's so obvious, but I have hope. I have faith, just not in these people. These people are hope dealers. They give you hope in the wrong places. It's like, imagine if you're a liberal and you hate Trump so much, you believe in the Mueller report. The Mueller report was always BS. You know, the whole Russia-Trump collusion, it was never real. It was never a real chance of getting Trump because they had no evidence. But they told people they had evidence. Why? Because CNN manipulated their hope for clicks, views, and power. That's evil. It's just as evil when the right wing does it. Have faith. Have hope. But don't put your hope in the equivalent to a left-wing Mueller report. It's dangling a carrot in front of your face to run you around and make you look like an idiot for years. And then as soon as you realize it's not true, are you any better off than you were? You have hope? No, you got lied to. A lot of people, you know, are going to take it really hard when they realize it's not true. But how can we block the spammer? Is there a spammer? Someone saying something? I don't know. Is there a fake anomaly page on the Facebook? They make it sometimes. I'll just delete it. Someone said 10 kings of false light. God bless. I'm not sure what that means, but thank you. All right, let's end on a good note. I don't feel like talking about this all day, but I can't, if there's no, I don't know if I'm going to have to ignore people or something, because I'm going to do one really good video about it and explain why I feel this way. But after that, I want to move on. I want to do other things. I want to do, research and do stuff that's interesting. But the whole movement is dragged into this stuff. And people say, why do I talk about it so much? Like, I'm getting mad. I know people in Canada, they're like, this is a phenomenon in Canada. Like, it's taking over the entire conspiracy movement. It's like the Anonymous was for a little while. Like, Anonymous was good. And then recently Anonymous was like the opposite. It was like a liberal psyop. Like, if you notice, Anonymous was like, oh, we're going to come for the Republic. Like, you could see that whoever was running that Anonymous account was not the same Anonymous as before, but everyone's like, oh, it's Anonymous. It's, oh man, it's like the what was the movie? V for Vendetta. They're gonna make movements like that. And I know it's like annoying and frustrating, but all you need to have is discernment. If you're looking at Anonymous and they use the Guy Fawkes mask and they're like, Joe Biden's really good. And you're like, that's not real, you're going to be like, this is not a real conspiracy movement. This is a setup. It's the same thing, but the other way. They're going to play to your emotions. If this is the future of the next year or two for the right wing, it's not going to work out, but we'll figure it out. Someone said follow you regardless of what you decide to talk about. I'm going to keep it interesting and I'm going to do what I think is helpful, but I have a really good video that I'm going to craft in the next day and talk about, really put to rest on the same day that all of these people are going to figure out that they were lied to for a year and explain how they do it, how they did it to the Bolsheviks and how they either done it here or people just fell for a similar thing. That's it. Someone said, great question. I didn't see what you asked, though. I'm going to read this. Linda said on Facebook, thanks for being here. Linda said, I agree with you. I'm glad and happy that he was president. I will not believe in fairy tales. I believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I will try to vote for good people. Thank you for doing all kinds of research. It's helpful and I appreciate it. with Trump, or any Republican, it's like, even if you get someone in that you like, I think people just thought it was a fairy tale, so they didn't want to be a part of it in any way of like resistance. And if we would have resisted the bad things that Trump did, I think we could have overturned it pretty easily. It's a numbers game, but people weren't ready to do that. So now they have Joe Biden, and we'll see what happens. Someone said Joe Biden will never take office. I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It should be interesting, but there's going to be theories that Joe Biden, like, it's going to be like Joe Biden's not really Joe Biden. Like, okay, we'll see what happens. Anything is possible, but I don't know. Do I really think the inauguration will happen? Follow your intuition. I mean, probably, yeah. I think they're just gonna do like a weird, creepy, like online virtual, Zoom inauguration, and it's just gonna be creepy. But I don't know. It's definitely weird. Anything is open, but I'm tired of people getting people's hopes up in a way that almost stops us from doing anything about it. But we'll see. At this point, with lockdowns, quarantines, I'm not ruling anything out, but I definitely don't think the military is there to arrest Joe Biden or anything. I don't even think that makes sense. We'll see, though. Tomorrow's a big day. You have little faith. Watch the power of God. Here's what I want to say, though, and then I really do want to actually wrap it up, but God is not just going to do everything you want to do all the time. And that's the same with me. Like, you think God is Trump, or you think God loves Trump and wants Trump there, and you refuse to look at the things that Trump didn't do that probably lost him favor, like it lost the country favor. So in your head, God is Trump. You don't have faith in God if you don't have faith in Trump. I'm tired of Christians who say that to me. If you want to do that, that's fine. But it's like, you don't have faith in God because you don't believe the inauguration is going to stop tomorrow. God is not Trump to me. I saw mistakes that Trump made. I saw Operation Warp Speed. I saw the lockdowns. I saw him infringe on the first two amendments. I saw him bend over backwards for advisors in foreign countries and donors, just like every other politician, after saying he wouldn't. So I saw all of that. I don't think Trump's God. I don't think he's Moses. I don't think he's a biblical character. I think he was a very strong and very interesting and very unique U.S. president who did a lot of really good, important things and played a really important role, but also really screwed up in the last year and ruined his own chances at a second term. So I'm tired of people equating God with, if you don't believe in Trump, you don't believe in God. You have no faith in God. It's like, God is not your little, he's going to make Trump win if I want Trump to win. That's not how it's going to work, but you'll figure it out tomorrow. Or maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe God's going to come down and then I'll just be here and I'll be like, I'm sorry. I'll apologize. I'll be like, you know what? You were right. I was wrong. God loves Trump. Biden will never be in office. All my enemies are in Gitmo. I'm not ruling it out. I think there's anything is possible, but I'm tired of hearing that I don't like God because I don't think Trump's going to last forever. Trump is not my whole world. He did really well for a while. He was really annoying last year with his Moderna tweets. To be honest, he got annoying to me. I wasn't obsessed over him the last 8 months like everyone else. I liked going to his rally. It was extremely fun, legendary event. But after he won/lost, it was like, Moderna. Ooh, I'm the fastest vaccine man. Have you ever seen anybody so fast? Ooh, they're out. Ooh, get them out. I'm like, I'm over it. I don't even care anymore. It's like, I'm not interested in a vaccine salesman. So Sports Bra said, appreciate you, bro. God bless the honesty. You're in my lane. Thank you. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Someone said Trump is the funniest president ever. I agree. I think he's the funniest president ever. The best tweeter ever. Someone said he's in control. God or Trump? Who are you talking about? God's in control. Trump's in control. I don't care what people think, whatever. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. It's like the 6th. I'll say this, and I got to go soon. Everybody told me all year, I was trying to talk about Operation Warp Speed, this and that. Anomaly, stop, wait till after the election. November came by, the election never ended. Anomaly, wait till January 6th. Once January 6th happened, you could say this and we'll listen and it'll finally be the right time for you to say this. And then I wait till January 6th. And then I say the same thing on January 8th that I said on January 4th. And then people tell me, just wait till the 20th. The goalposts never end. And this is part of the trap, folks. This is part of it. How do you get patriots and Trump supporters to not address the lockdowns? How do you get patriots and Trump supporters to not address what's going on in their country? Never ending goalposts. 15 days to slow the spread. Trump's in control. George Floyd riots. 3 months of just wait till after the election. 3 months of the election never ending. 1 month of wait till January 6th. 2 weeks of wait till January 20th. What's it going to be tomorrow? Wait till April, wait till 2024 when Trump runs again. These people are never going to stop. Some of these accounts that have pathologically lied to people, they're going to apologize. And other ones like the praying medic types, they're not going to apologize. They're just going to be like, God told me that Trump's going to run in 4 years, so you have to trust the plan for 4 more years. And everyone's going to be like, ooh, he's right. The only way to expose Biden is to give Biden power. Yeah, we'll see. Someone said that's Q's game to constantly move the goalpost. Yeah, he's like the Fauci of the right-wing conspiracy world. Just the goalpost is unlimited, so it never ends. It's a carrot dangling in front of your face. That's Fauci to coronavirus is the same thing as Q to conservatives. Fauci with the dangling. Hey, don't wear masks. Oh, wear masks. Wear masks until the vaccine comes, and then you could be free. Oh, the vaccine's here. You got to get 2 doses. One of them doesn't work. Wait, we'll actually get the vaccine, get 2 doses, and wear the mask. It's a dangling carrot. The only way to beat a Fauci is to stop playing. If you play his game, the game is here's a carrot, run like a donkey, and you're never going to get it because that's the Q game. Just run forever, and everything I'm saying matters but doesn't matter. Disinfo is necessary. I've been wrong, but I'm purposely wrong because I'm purposely lying to you, but there's a plan. But how do you even know there's a plan? Because aren't I disinfo is necessary? Maybe the plan was a lie. Maybe that part of it's disinfo. Nobody knows. That's the whole game. It's a carrot dangling in front of your face. It's a satanic inversion to brainwash Christians away from their roots into thinking Gitmo operations exist but don't exist but might exist. Just stop playing these sick, devilish games. Like, look in and do your research on your own. You don't need a research team of people who are not very bright and not very honest or don't have discernment enough to realize that they're not special enough to get secret military intel from the good guys with the white hat sting operation. That's not a sting operation because a sting operation means it happened. It never happened. There was no secret sting operation for the ballots. There was no secret sting operation on the election. It would have happened already. Trump is leaving. He's like, I'm out. Unless they're just going to do some huge false flag event or something. It's like, and then we're all just like under military law or something. But as far as all your enemies going to Gitmo, that ship has sailed, folks. Just get over it. Someone said, how dare you? How dare you? You got the picture of, what's her name? What's the little environmentalist girl's name? How dare you said if criminals stole the election, will they stop there? Of course not. This will not end well. Great work, Broseph. It's going to be okay, but people need to be ready for it and step up. There's no more fairy tale. It's like the collection of people. Will you do something or will you don't? And this is the positive note. I'm going to end on a good vibe. Under Trump, people didn't do anything. They didn't do anything because they thought that Trump was going to do it. With Biden, you have no more security blanket. It's actually a good thing. Now the 80 million patriots, no excuses for Operation Warp Speed. Do you know what Joe Biden's doing? He's doing mass vaccinations in FEMA camps. Do you think any conservatives are going to think Joe Biden doing mass vaccinations in FEMA camps is a good idea? No. But what is that? It's a continuation of Trump's Operation Warp Speed, which is a vaccine program, meets big government, meets the military. Trump started that. But you didn't give a crap when Trump did it. Everyone made excuses. But when Joe Biden does it, you won't sing a single excuse. That's a good thing. That means that patriots are going to have to actually do something instead of just sit there on their hands and make up excuses for tyranny. And that's what they did for a year under Trump from 2020 till 2021. That's all gone. That's the blessing. In my opinion, that is the message. That is the blessing. No more accepting this and just acting like it's okay. It wasn't okay then. It's not going to be okay now. I mean, life is okay, but as far as if you're pro-freedom, you can't be for that, or else you're not pro-freedom. So that's the message. That's the lesson. That's the real trust the plan. We'll see tomorrow. It's a very interesting day. And then the 21st, there'll be a new operation. We'll see what it is. But I have a good video for tomorrow. And then after that, we'll see where the presidency goes. I'm going to do the same thing that I've done here, where with Trump, I didn't defend him for 3 years. Even after that, I didn't do it for any other reason besides when it was the right thing to do. It's the truth. I'm not here to spin it. I'm not here to lie. If the media is lying about Trump and patriots and conservatives, I'm going to tell the truth. So under Biden, people say, what are you going to do? My job doesn't stop. What's he doing? What's the media saying? What are conservatives saying? What's real? What's the right? I'm going to do the same exact thing I did. And I'm sure there's going to be chock full, motivation with all the weird stuff going on. But we have to be, and this is what we'll end it on, we have to be productive if we can be, because clickbait headlines, that's not going to do it. Bling, bling, bling. Oh my God, Biden's doing this. They're hypocrites. Like, we know, and I get it. We do have to point it out, but we have to figure out some sort of a plan. If there's going to be like a collective movement against it, it can't be clickbaits. It can't be, oh my God, like, we get it. He's doing that. It's happening. It's not okay. Call it out. But we have to really figure it out, how to combat it. So it's something to think about. It's hard to have a solution for something that big, but something to think about. And on a personal note, that's why I'm getting stronger. Obviously, it's never a bad idea to be stronger, but I have the song Too Jacked for the Gulag coming out. Obviously, it's a funny song, but also, I don't know. I can't do everything. We can't do everything. On our individual level, we can't change the whole country immediately, but if all of us do enough on our personal level to change our lives, to look out for ourselves, and in general, try to be better than we were last year and take a stand in some form for ourselves, for our health, for our wealth, whatever. If we can do that, and we all did that, that's the play. The left versus right, it's Pelosi, it's you, it's that. We're fighting socialism. It's not Trump. Anomaly operation, worst speed. Florida is the same as it used to be. It's like that all to me is a waste of all of our time, my time, your time, making excuses for it, arguing about it, debating about it. There's a place and time for it, but that's like the circular. We got to get off Twitter, social media, do stuff like, that's why I try to be more inspirational, motivational. When I'm, I don't listen to myself, but when I'm around the house, I listen to financial podcasts or this or that. It's like something that I listen to and I'm interested in it. I can learn, but it's not so downing and draining, or I'm just waiting. It's like, I do jumping jacks. So hopefully people are around. Maybe you work out when I work out or something. So, something that's more motivational, because that's all we really can do. But as a collective, we really have to think about being productive. But all I could really guarantee is, if we all can do something on a personal level to ourselves, that's got to have some type of impact. So appreciate you guys. God bless you. Thanks everybody that's strong enough to stay around. Thank you guys on, Facebook for the stars and YouTube for the super chats and stuff. I'm glad that they even still exist, and I'll have a video probably for tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting day. We'll see what happens, and we'll move forward from there. Thanks, guys.